Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with James Farley.
Hello.
Sean Bell.
Hello.
And the main one, Matt Murray.
Hello. Although after this week, I think James is the main one.
Go on, why's that?
Well, he did his video, didn't he?
Oh, he did his video. Right, yeah, we'll get to that. I would like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers this month. They are Aaron Patrick, Full Nels, Anthony Oakenson, Full Nels, Simon Nelson, Full Nels, Thomas, Full Nels, Jack Oven, Full Nels, Moomin Biscuit, Full Nels, and Richard Sawyer, Full Nels. Thank you to our Full Nels crew for supporting us on Patreon at the top tier. There's other tiers there. If you go to patreon.com/TCGS, you can get a bonus show at the $5 tier. At the $10 tier, you can watch our Talks Over live. Shall we talk about the Talks Over that we did this week, chaps? I think we should talk about the Talk Over this week,
I'd kind of rather forget about it. It was...
I mean, I think James and I are of the opinion that the half an hour to 45-minute ones are probably the best. You know, they're not too long. You know, they hold our interest long enough. But you know, Sean wanted to do. Was it your suggestion to do a 2-hour one this week?
It wasn't my suggestion. No, it was Matt's suggestion. I was all right with it because I understood.
Oh,
that
Matt wanted a 2-hour one.
Well, no, it wasn't the time I wanted. It was like we should do the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
It's just that most of E3 things are way longer than half an hour to 45 minutes.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But then when we do have half an hour ones, like the commercial ones, Matt, you keep hitting rewind and pause and stuff and making it longer. It was weird. So the idea this time was because we'd just seen the PS5 reveal, we were going to watch the PS4 reveal conference, and we were all very excited. Sean, you did a bit of research for the video, didn't you?
I did. So, yeah, we initially thought it was 2 hours long, and I was looking around, and I thought, well, hang on, there's one that's only about an hour and a half here. So I had a look. And yeah, basically, the whole thing is 2 hours, but there's basically like 25 minutes at the end, which is just Destiny, which obviously not really something we'd need to recap in one of these videos. So we thought, right, well, we'll just do the PS4 bit, and then when the Destiny bit starts, we'll just fade the audio out, do our sort of final thoughts on it, and then call it a night. That's not what happened, is it? We passed the hour and a half mark, and then everyone started like digging at me, saying, "Come on, Sean, where's this fucking Destiny bit?"
Well, we were more like, they're leaving this. If there's 25 minutes of Destiny at the end, this conference is 2 hours, 15 minutes. So that means, like, they haven't got long to show off the PS4, have they? Because you take 25 minutes off and we're getting really close to this already. What do they do?
I'd already gone to the end and said, no, actually, I checked, and the Destiny bit's actually only like 15 minutes, not half an hour, but there is Destiny at the end, so...
What do you mean? You checked the video?
Yeah, and I went to the end of it just to make sure it's the same one, and it had Destiny at the end.
Long story short then, Matt just put in a completely different video that was 2 hours, 10 minutes of them just talking about PS4 games. There was nothing spectacular in it. We didn't get to see the PS4 reveal. We didn't. The whole point just went out the window, and we wasted 2 hours.
So I found the videos like PS4 announcement. I was like, okay, this is it, and I didn't want to like look into the video because I didn't want to spoil any surprises.
But you just said that you went to the end of it.
I went right to the end just to make sure that it was a Destiny bit that Sean said. Okay, it ends with Destiny. I'm like, okay, well here we go. It ends with Destiny.
Was there Destiny at the end?
Yeah,
there was.
It was 15 minutes.
There was Destiny. There was 15 minutes of Destiny at the end.
Anyway, so I was like, it's called PS4 announcement. I don't think it was. This must be it. Turns out it wasn't.
So 2 hours, 15 minutes of us watching the wrong conference. And, I mean, if you watched it live, you got to see how angry we all got about it, especially James. James seemed very upset. If you're not a Patreon subscriber at the $10 tier, then you will get to see that next month. But if you wanted to see it early, then sign up to the $10 tier and skip.
It definitely had its moments,
and you can see whatever colossal error we make next month, you can watch it live. $10. Let's go.
It was terrible though, wasn't it? Because it's the trouble with it was it's a boring conference anyway. And then I was thinking, well, it's all right because 25 minutes of that is just going to be Destiny stuff that we can just bin off. Yeah. And then so you're holding on to that. I was holding on to that for like most of the show, and then you find out it wasn't that, and then it's it wasn't very pleasing.
we made our own fun though, didn't we? I looked up a load of pictures of David Cage. James bought a clip for his PlayStation 4 controller and his phone.
Look, that's what we did with it was fine. I'm still angry at Matt for putting the wrong video in, and then trying to defend himself.
You think I'm not annoyed too? I wanted to see that.
You can be angry that you missed the conference we all sat down to watch, but imagine that anger if it was someone else's fault. Because if it's your own fault, you get a bit frustrated with yourself. If it's someone else's fault, you're furious, Matt. You're furious. A night of my life that I won't get back.
Let's not forget, Matt looked at the video that he picked out and saw the Destiny stuff at the end and saw that it was only about 10 minutes and went, oh, well, Sean's got that wrong. But okay.
Well, just for this instance, Destiny, they can't both aim in Destiny. Turns out they do aim both aim in Destiny.
Your tune has changed, though, because when we confronted you about it at the end of that talks over, you going, no, this is the reveal. See, it's the reveal.
The thing was called PS4 announcement.
Jesus Christ, it was unbelievable. So you get to watch that.
And next month we'll do the PS4 reveal.
The one we actually
No, we will not be doing that. We'll think of a better idea. Something 30 minutes long.
How about next month we just do the Destiny bit from the one we meant to watch?
Well, I don't know about that, Sean. Did you say 25 minutes? It's a bit long for Dave and James. Maybe he's saying it's like 5 to 10.
True.
It's quality.
It's quality over quantity, absolutely. Yeah.
Imagine waiting a month for that. You're like, brilliant, what am I going to do this month? I'll pay my money. What am I going to do? 15 minutes. Okay, that's it. See you boys later. Come on.
I mean, if it's a good 15 minutes, Matt, it's got to be better than 2 hours of us watching the wrong conference. Should we get to feedback? Let's get to feedback.
Yeah, we're going to start with one of our Fortnite members, Aaron Patrick. Hi all, great show as always. One bit of feedback from the last show that would be a quick defence of Facebook Gaming getting their grubby little mitts, on Mixer and Nextcloud. Now, I fully support and understand the initial scepticism and uneasiness about Facebook in general being involved in serious gaming, as we all wish Facebook would stick to Candy Crush and Farmville 2020. I think everyone may have missed one big and significant plus point, a certain $2.3 billion investment in March 2014 for a particular company called Oculus. Why would this excite me? Well, great question, James. Well, think about the possibility of AAA games using xCloud to replace an Oculus Quest, or more likely Quest 2.0. That's right, David. You too could possibly, maybe, surely, somehow play Half-Life Alyx. Sean could find an indie darling that looks perfect in the VR world, and Matt could scoff at us all, as he's probably been hacking his way into doing this for years already. But either way, maybe, just maybe, this Facebook and Microsoft deal wouldn't be such a bad thing after all. Cheers for everything, lads. Love being a Full Nels member and highly recommend it for anyone in the community. Finally, as I'm just starting on my YouTube career, can I have a shout out to my channel? It's Apple Core Productions. More the merrier, so everyone check out Apple Productions on YouTube.
Sorry, because I've seen Apple Core in the chat on Twitch and stuff. I didn't realise it was Aaron Patrick. Hello, Aaron.
Yeah, it was the very one. Thanks again. Keep up the great work. Look forward to the next rebrand in 2030.
Sooner than that.
We all are.
That's good. Sounds like
maybe a little bit before that. Yeah, so the Oculus stuff, we didn't really... I guess we didn't really cover that as much, did we?
You can't stream... Yeah, you couldn't do xCloud to a VR headset. The latency's too severe. It make you feel really sick. It's hard enough streaming wirelessly to a headset via a local network, never mind the internet.
We're way off that, aren't we?
Yeah, so that's a long way off. But, I mean...
So what's this Oculus stuff? Microsoft have made a deal... What's this?
No, they've done
it's
nothing.
Just Facebook and Oculus, so...
Yeah, I know, but that's a complete...
So if Microsoft are cozying up with Facebook,
different thing, though, isn't it? They're not linked, are they?
No, they're not linked at all. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if further down the line there is something, like some sort of connection between like Xbox and Oculus or whatever. But
I don't understand why it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it hasn't happened. If the PS4 can run PSVR games, I'd love it if the Xbox One X just went, yeah, you can use Oculus with it.
That would be incredible.
Maybe you've got to buy the... I don't know if they would run the Steam store on the Xbox. That'd be a bit weird. No. But maybe they did their own version of that that sort of platform on the Microsoft store. I don't know, but it just seems Just plug your Oculus into your Xbox One X.
Yeah, I mean that would be great and all, but I feel like they've just backed away because it's just let's not complicate a thing. Let's not complicate matters anymore.
Yeah, I mean they've got bigger issues at the moment, haven't they? Yeah,
I mean obviously PSVR sold tons, but then they also used their old Move technology and iToy and stuff, so they had that pretty much ready to go in some aspects. Microsoft doesn't. They could link with another company, and Oculus obviously would be the obvious one. But
that's it. With the Oculus, they wouldn't need to, would they?
I mean, no, they wouldn't need to develop their own stuff. But it's just, I think, maybe wait and see where VR is in a couple of years. But for now, just concentrate on simple games, no gimmicks, no camera, no Kinect. All that's just focus on the games. So I can see why they're doing it.
It feels a bit like VR's going through a bit of a dull patch again, doesn't it? Because I don't know,
it's weird,
Sony
isn't it? It's refusing to go away. But I think, obviously, because PSVR did such great work in getting VR into people's living rooms, and now the tech for that now feels a little bit outdated, and there's been no mention of PSVR for the PS5. So although, obviously, PC VR stuff is amazing, it's still relatively niche, isn't it? I think that's the the problem.
I think you're right. I think basically right now, some games are being made, but they're just now we're needing technology, particularly on PlayStation, to catch up to where we are on the PC side. But PC, like the best PC stuff, like Valve Index, that's like $1,000 or whatever. That's obviously incredibly expensive. Quest has done amazing considering, it's really good standalone. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think I need to complicate matters anymore, Microsoft, right now. Like at one point, they did say the next Xbox, maybe even, was it the One X?
They have mentioned
saying, it's VR ready,
before.
But then they just quickly said, look, obviously it'd be powerful enough, but that's a complication they don't need to bother with right now.
Yeah.
Are we covering any more? We're probably not covering any more Mixer stuff, are we, in the news?
No.
That thing we mentioned last week about, would Facebook Gaming be all over the Xbox dashboard, like just after we finished recording last week?
Yeah, they said it wouldn't be, wouldn't it?
Someone asked on Reddit, and I think Aaron Greenberg and or Phil Spencer answered the question being like, will Facebook Game be all over it? And and basically said no. Like, we have no. I'm not sure the exact words, but basically the answer was no. They're not going to massively integrate Facebook Gaming with the Xbox dashboard. So that's good at least. There's a bit of a sigh of relief there for me.
I'm really hopeful, seeing as all the sort of the pro consumer stuff they've been doing over, with the Xbox and everything recently, that they are going to make it how we'd like it to be, which is that you can stream to any of those platforms, that you want to, and just choose, and it'll have all the options and that kind of thing, and it's not going to be tied in to some like proprietary nonsense like Mixer was. It'd be great.
If we could choose our default, like, okay, this is your streaming tab. You can choose if you want to watch YouTube gaming or Facebook gaming or Twitch or whatever else comes out. That'd be brilliant if we could almost choose like the default app for this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay, James McCall. Hi, guys. Read a question about last week's show around playing Life is Strange 2. While I agree that you can jump straight into Life is Strange 2 without playing the first game, I would advise playing The Awesome Adventures of Capturing Spirit beforehand.
Absolutely.
I can't believe we missed this.
For me, it led to a great few moments and one huge jaw-dropping moment because I played it before too. Also, it's still free.
I can't believe we didn't bring this up.
Yeah, I
could kick myself for not bringing this up, but
smack to the forehead when I read this.
Someone else also brought up the fact that actually if you don't play 1 before 2, at the start of 2, just like essentially a line that it reveals exactly what happened at the end of 1. So if you're desperately worried about that.
Yeah, that is a good point as well.
But if you can't do any of them, at least do Captain Spirit before, because
and there's characters in 2 that are in 1 as well that you just wouldn't even.
But I still think you could still get a lot out of that game without.
You could. You're absolutely right. It's not essential,
and you're not missing it. It's not like it's going, hey, it's this guy from. Do you remember? Like, there's no, it's not even signposted.
Like, I think I'm of the opinion now that if you're going to play Last of Us 2, you have to have played The Last of Us 1.
Wait,
definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas, I don't get that same feeling from Life is Strange, but it's certainly beneficial if you played the first one, because there's lots of stuff there. But no, it's interesting. I can't believe we didn't think of Captain Spirit because, that is absolutely essential and part of that experience.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Get that done.
Let's get on to some feedback about James's unboxing video from last week.
James, what a changing
What a
career,
pivot.
mate.
What a turnaround.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not
I
really
know.
fair though, is it? Because I mean, the point of this is that was an interesting video because of you, David, and because of you, Matt. It wasn't because of what I did with just recording it.
For those who aren't on social, maybe haven't seen it. So when we did a brilliant $10 talks over last week, where we talked over that fantastic PlayStation 4 announcement video, James, well, actually, I guess we all got a little bit bored. James started shopping and bought this phone clip, which we might have discussed even on a previous pod. Anyway, he bought
Yeah, we
that.
did on last week's show.
And I've,
It's a phone clip that he can clip his phone into, and then he can connect his phone wirelessly and play remote play.
Yeah.
Direct to the phone just above his pad.
And then, I'm not sure if James suggested it first or we suggested it, but basically the idea of an unboxing happened. Like you've got to record this and make an unboxing, and then James, you sent us a video, and then Dave worked his magic, basically.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Let me. I've got a little complaint about this, James, to be quite honest with you. The first being, why would you ruin it by telling people that I edited it?
No, because I don't want to take credit for it because it's really good, and it's not my fault that it's really good.
Okay, that's annoying because it's funnier if it means if you edited it, especially seeing as I put with me, James Farley, all over it.
I know. Well, I wasn't very happy
but
about
do
that.
you not
but
think
go on.
it was incredibly obvious it wasn't James who edited it?
Well, secondly, right? Why did you say because of you, Dave, and you, Matt? What did Matt do?
He did the thumbnail that was really funny as well.
He did the thumbnail. Okay, all right. He did the fucking thumbnail.
It was a
I
good
sat there and
thumbnail.
edited it and re-edited it about 8 times. Did the fucking
The
thumbnail.
thumbnail's all about getting the views in. So
Is it?
Just
You're
so
welcome.
everyone at home knows, I offered moral support and told everyone they did a great job.
yeah, and that's the
Sounds like
most
a lot,
valuable
actually.
aspect of the video, frankly.
It is definitely. Otherwise, I would have given up ages ago. Go and watch James's unboxing videos. It is very funny.
It's the music. The music's the best thing. It's just
Royalty free. Double check that.
It's the music. It's a very, very quick cut to things like specs. That's the bit that still makes me laugh the most.
Classic James Farley up on YouTube. Go check it out.
Andy, we had loads of people obviously saying how good it was, but Andy Godwin, our big cop man on Twitter, great unboxing video, James. Have you thought about doing one where you open a Nintendo Labo kit so your kids can finally play it?
Good point.
That's a dig.
that
lovely
is a
little
good
dig.
point, though. I was looking at those on the shelf the other day, and there's still.
Oh my god!
I've still got two.
Those.
I've got 2 boxes. I've got 2 of them that I still haven't opened yet. I just haven't
What
got
are
around
they?
to it. It's the big robot and the vehicle one.
The big robot. The big robot, listeners, if you remember correctly, was a birthday present for Asher.
It was.
He bought Asher and then just never built for him.
2 years
And then-
ago.
And he said to me, I said, it was his birthday. Why didn't you build it for him? And you went, because he's probably forgotten about it now. So I think you even suggested that you might wrap it up again for another time,
I
for
thought
another
about
birthday.
giving
or
it to him
something.
again this year because it was 2 years ago now, so he's definitely not going to remember exactly. So
Also,
Jesus
didn't
Christ.
so the VR one came out, was announced, and you said, "Oh, you want to buy it?" And Chen's like, "You are not going to buy anything else until you use the ones you've got." And then you opened one and used it for a bit, and then you didn't bother the rest, but you still got the VR one.
that's pretty much spot on. Yeah, that is what-
Yes, I'll open I've looked at that, so that counts. So let's get the VR one now.
This is terrible.
I will build it at some time. It's just that I've also got like a massive box just full of cardboard as well. Still, from the other builds that I've done. It's ridiculous.
Oh, we got rid of all that stuff.
yeah,
We've got,
I Go on, sorry, Dave.
yeah, I mean, fair play. We had great fun with it, But I couldn't just leave that cardboard just sitting about forever.
Well, I had
Jesus.
to.
So it is weird because we have got the cartridge now just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. We can't do anything with it.
And the
There you
cardboard isn't. You can't rebuild it once you disassemble it, right? It's
No,
a one
not
and
really.
done thing.
No, you can.
You could, but it's
you can
all
certainly
not
piece
as
it
good.
together. But there's so much of it that you just wouldn't want to keep
Yeah.
it. I mean, as I say, I'd recommend it, especially at today's prices, where you get them for like 25 quid or whatever. Because it's a fun, weekend activity to do, but don't expect it to be this big gaming experience.
No, it's really not.
Because it is not.
I
that.
should build that robot though, but it's just that it says it takes like 6
probably
hours
should.
or whatever. It's just too long.
Yeah.
James, do it all day on Twitch. Come on.
Yeah.
Does it say build time 6 hours? James Farley, 2 years.
Jonathan Edwards at Johnster. Hi, can Matt explain what a subtle jump scare is, please? Feels like an oxymoron to me. Yeah, I said this during the Last of Us 2 discussion last week, and when I heard it again, I was like, okay. What I meant was, it's subtle uses of jump scares, and even that word doesn't make sense. It's more like they're not everywhere, but when they do happen, they're like, okay, they're very few and far between. It's not they don't overdo it.
I wouldn't agree with that. They're fucking quite regular.
I reckon. Okay.
Well, oh god, yeah. There's loads of them.
I thought there weren't that many there, and it was a well done amount of jump scares. Does that explain it anymore? Probably
no, it does not. BB. It's nowhere near as bad as what was that? Until Dawn. That was Jump Scare City. But
oh yeah,
yeah, that was crazy. But I had one of the worst jump scares I think I've ever had in a game from it the other night. It was horrible.
Oh really?
But I can't even. Yeah. I'll tell you what it is after the.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, Han, is it? Oh,
I don't know if you do because it was completely optional. But then I know that you scan these games, like you explore these games, so you probably did come across it. But the one that I got, it was just awful. Yeah, okay.
Lovely old job. MS Rangers 999 finally realised why Sean plays shit games because he doesn't know what a good game is. Never played Uncharted 4, not really played The Last of Us 1. What other groundbreaking games hasn't he played? God of War, Spider-Man, Divinity Sin 2, Horizon Zero Dawn. Time to come clean, sir.
Time to come clean? With what?
Time to come clean, sir.
Okay, a couple of things.
You know when you suddenly use a wrong phrase, and you don't really mean it, but it sounded cool in your head. That's what that was.
I mean, the thing is, some people just like different things, mate. Like to me, the games that I like aren't shit, whereas the games you've listed as groundbreaking.
You want God, Sean? You want to say, "Oh shit"?
No, I don't.
Just say it,
get onto
Sean.
that when we get to what we've been playing. But then,
I'm looking forward to that chat. That chat very much.
I think I know where this is
groundbreaking
going.
is not the word I'd use. Yeah, what do you want? I don't understand.
Want to know a better tasting game, Sean? Basically,
Yeah.
Sean, is there not part of you that's kind of like, oh my god, there's this game that everyone is saying this is absolutely fucking incredible. Is there not part of you that's just like, oh man, I do need to?
Well, no, because that's quite rare. Like, so obviously it's happening with The Last of Us 2, but as I've said,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about specifically.
But as I say, I know I don't need the tone of it right now. And all those other games he's mentioned, that not like that wasn't the conversation around any of them. Like,
I don't know. Horizon Zero Dawn had a lot of very positive buzz.
No, it didn't.
Oh, yeah, but it was completely overshadowed, wasn't it?
Because Breath of the Wild happened at the time.
That's not the game's
on
fault,
this
though,
show,
is it?
everyone except for me was going, so Zelda's kind of ruined it for me.
totally had.
Like God of War, I know, it was like quite a bold reinvention and stuff, but then it was like within a week, a lot of people were like, there is the bit of filler and stuff, and I mean,
who said that?
What else?
Yeah, I don't remember anyone
idiots
saying
I thought
that.
people said it was like overlong because it's like 30 hours plus, isn't it? Whereas God of War is typically like 10. Anyway, point is, I remember
longish, but
No, I think you find what you're doing there is you're making things up to justify your opinion.
well, no, because this is why I never bothered rushing out.
James.
No, I'm not having a
He's on the
go.
ropes.
Like I will play it one day, and I'll probably enjoy it.
And people that love Spider-Man, they said that, but eventually they went, there's not enough Spider-Man in it.
There's
there should
too
be a
much
little
web
bit more
slinging in
Batman
this
in it."
fucking game.
The swinging shit.
Too much Mary Jane, too much New York.
There's too much New York. Stick of it, mate.
So go on, Sean. Go on, pick your weapon now. Go on.
No, just that. I remember people sort of turning on God of War after a bit, so I was like, all right, okay, well, I won't rush then. Divinity Original Sin 2, to be fair, like, is meant to be incredible, but none of us have played that, so shut up.
I wanted to, but there's too much Divinity, too much Sin. Yeah,
too much. There's
sequel,
loads of 2 in it. It's like, it's the second game.
Look
every
at me,
5 minutes.
pathetic.
Like, shut up. Yeah, Uncharted 4 I probably should play, and Last of Us 1 didn't really get on with it. But whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, but I mean, do you think you'll ever play Last of Us 2?
Probably not.
I find that weird that like a big AAA game like that everyone is just going, oh my god, there's no interest there.
But it's just I don't think it's for me.
Okay, fine. I'm not digging you out for it. I just find it strange. That's all.
And because the thing is, if you just sort of like, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to bother. And then just the sheer volume of everything going on around it, I'm just like, I really don't care now. Like,
well, it's that famous phrase, isn't there, Sean? You do whatever you want to do. You do whatever you want to do.
I don't know what this is. This isn't an office thing, is it?
I have no idea what this is.
Let's get on to the next bit of feedback.
Well, we've got a bit of feedback actually about Last of Us 2 from Dave Bozox fan.
Good old Dave.
Right,
all right, mate.
I'll try and do the voice. Sorry, but the way you talk about The Last of Us 2 makes me think you never even played it. It's a dumpster fire of a story that pisses over the memory of the first game's characters.
That's a bit of... But why are you giving him that voice?
I don't know, it's just 4 hours
It's just his opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Accusing you of not actually playing it is a bit.
What do you mean? Is he accusing us of not playing it?
Did you listen to what I said?
No, I just heard the voice.
Okay, sorry, but the way you talk about The Last of Us 2 makes me think you never even played it. It's a dumpster fire
we
of
definitely
a story
played
that pisses over the memory of the first game's characters.
See, they're all having a go at me for not
boy.
playing it. Turns out they haven't either, just making it up to sound cool.
Matt didn't speak to anyone for 3 days. That's that is.
Trust me, I played it.
He played it through.
I played it.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk to you. Is the true reply to that comment, because I don't want to know what happens. Just don't talk to me about the story yet. Wait until I completed it, and then we'll have a little chit chat. But yeah, I can't comment. I can't comment. Matt, is it a dumpster fire?
No, it doesn't. No, not at all.
Okay,
not
fine. Okay. Good.
Okay, I think Dave got loads of feedback on this, but we'll cover it and we'll end with this. Al Wincott and a bunch of other people said, great poddy as usual, lads, but I have to correct Dave that you can use Google Home to switch on the Xbox. Connects with shit,
yeah, I've got loads of
but I fell into that trap as well. Keep up the good work. I saw a bunch of tweets about this, and you tried it, didn't you, Dave?
Yeah, it's absolutely shocking.
Really?
It's absolutely shocking. Yeah, for starters, you've got to say HG before any command, and the commands are overly long.
So what?
You've got to say HG.
Well, he's not saying it because it'll activate everyone's, isn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing.
It probably works better if you say HG. Go on.
That's what I said. HG.
Sorry.
We would. Oh, I forgot. Oh, we didn't speak like that in my school. Fucking privileged prick. So the commands are overly long, and then sometimes it just doesn't work. Right when it doesn't work, the home hub turns like the hub thing. So it just goes. It's just like the ultimate slap in the face. You're like, yeah, turn my Xbox off, and then it goes, oh, no. So I used it 3 times and then went, I'm never going to use this again. Do you want me to try it now? See what it does?
No, because it'll set everyone who's listening at home. It'll set theirs off, won't it?
Yeah, that's going to be bad for everyone involved.
Yeah, I won't do that. I won't do that then. That's
it for feedback. It's at TCGS on Twitter if you want to leave us some feedback. Or you can email podcast@computergameshow.com.
Let's get on to the news then. James Farley.
Okay, it's been another difficult week, really, in the last week, because there's been like a number of allegations that have come out, mostly accusations relating to sort of gender-based discrimination, harassment and sexual assault within the video game industry and sort of around it. There's been allegations like about Destiny 2 streaming community, and Kotaku have noted like more than 50 of these like different Twitch personalities that are supposedly in trouble. And a number of like Twitch streamers also ceased their broadcasts for 24 hours on the 22nd of June, as part of this sort of blackout thing because they're concerned about the inaction on the part of the company. And I mean, it's not just within the streaming community either. I mean, there's been developers as well. There's like Chris Avalon has been accused of inappropriate behaviour, and also Assassin's Creed Valhalla's creative director Ashraf Ismail has also had to step down following this. And Twitch has started banning streamers over abuse allegations because of this. They've said in response to this, they said, we've prioritised the most severe cases and will begin issuing permanent suspensions in line with our findings immediately. In many of the cases, the alleged incident took place off Twitch, and we need more information to make a determination. The company has also promised to develop tools to deal with harassment and rework all the associated policies. And Ubisoft have also said they're investigating because there was reportedly 2 senior executives and several other employees that are now on leave because they're investigating misconduct. There's this guy, Tommy Francois and Maxime Bellin, both who are members of like Ubisoft's high-level editorial team, and they faced charges of misconduct, and they're being placed on leave. And Ubisoft have said, we are also auditing our existing policies, processes and systems to understand where these have broken down to ensure we can better prevent, detect and punish inappropriate behaviour. I mean, all in all, it's just been a really bad week in terms of allegations and revelations, but hopefully things can improve.
I mean, then as I was saying last week, what's really bad is that it went on for this long, and at least something's being done now. Like the fact that it's news to some of us, like that is a privilege in and of itself, isn't it? Like this has just been people's lived experience for years. In a lot of cases. So, yeah, I mean, as painful as it is, I've got a couple of things to say on this. Firstly, right, I just don't, I don't understand the mentality of someone that gets into a position of power and then acts the way that they. It's so fucking alien to me that it just makes me feel sick, right? Straight up. But there's also this, and I do think it's important to talk about. I don't know if there's many of our listeners out there that feel like this, but if you do genuinely think, look, you're innocent until proven guilty, Twitter mobs, like me, I hate Twitter mob, I hate cancel culture, I hate all that stuff, right? It really just puts me on edge and makes me angry and all that sort of stuff, right? I understand that point of view, but all I'll say is, what else can they do? Yeah.
These victims, what else can they do? You could turn around and go, well, it needs to be proven. You can't just put these allegations out there. Some of these things are not even illegal. It's just highlighting that people are being disgraceful in their positions of power, right? So what are we going to do? Go for a court system? There's going to be evidences there. It's you cannot put it in that box. You can't you could turn around and say, and I've been guilty of thinking this in the past, that this is an internal problem. This is a problem with these companies. This isn't for Twitter to all pile on and get involved with. These allegations shouldn't be flung out there on Twitter. This is for the companies to sort themselves out and sort their staff out. That's clearly not happening.
Yeah.
Right? So, although I understand your point of view, stop and think about the reality of the situation here. And not only that, by expressing these opinions very vehemently, although they might be, completely legitimate and at heart, when you're verbalizing these stuff in an aggressive way, it really does cause more of a problem because, these victims need to be heard. And the moment they come out with a story and people around them are going, oh, you shouldn't be putting that out there, that feels like we're not listening to victims of emotional and sexual abuse. Like, that's the problem.
And especially, so many people are quick to be like, oh, no, this is all fabricated, you're making this up. And it's like, mate, what do you think people get out of making this stuff up?
It's not only that. It's like, what do you know?
Well, yeah.
What do you know? You're a person on the internet, right? Well, how do you know anything about the social? You, as much as we talk about our personal lives on this show, people don't know me. They don't know who I am and what I'm like away from all this sort of stuff. Even Twitter and all that sort of shit. It's not. I don't know, man. What I will say is that yes, I hate the idea of pylons. I hate the idea that people could be potentially falsely accused of something that could completely ruin their life because of a Twitter pylon, right? But what I'm saying is that you've got to stop and think about what choices these victims have to be heard. And there's not a lot. There's not a lot. When their own companies and the system is letting them down, what else can they do?
Hasn't it been,
and that's been one of the biggest things, isn't it? It's the fact that this is all coming out of this because these things are not being dealt with, at all. Yeah. And so, people have to come out, and this is the only way that we can hope that maybe things can improve.
It doesn't have to be said. I mean, I'm not sure about the others, but I believe in certainly as far as Ubisoft is concerned, it's been raised with HR numerous times, and just nothing's been done,
and then nothing gets done. It's
So what else can like say the survivors do other than try and warn each other away from certain individuals who they know that are dangerous? And
going through each allegation, like I've heard other places do, to me seems really crass for blokes sitting down doing a gaming podcast, right? But I mean, all we can say is that we hope that the victims get justice, and we hope that the industry changes to prevent this happening any further.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And obviously, if you're listening to this, examine your own behaviour historically as well, and do wonder if maybe there's any chance that you've contributed, because there's a good chance a lot of us have in some way or another, just probably accidentally, but just because of the culture and the way it's been, it's worth I'm not saying we're all horrible, but just it is worth taking the opportunity to examine your own behaviour and just have a think.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I mean, also, something other very strange has been going on over the last, couple of days, really, involving Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, God.
Which is just a very strange story. I mean...
Are we talking about this?
Well, this is the thing, because it felt when this story first came out that this may be some connection with the things that have been going on previously, but he was banned from Twitch permanently last Friday. And, I mean, it's the second time he was banned. The first time was when he did that whole thing with the bathroom at E3. And, Twitch hasn't commented why he's been banned. And then he has recently just come out and said he doesn't know why he's been banned. It's all very weird. The whole thing is very weird.
It's an interesting little mystery. As I'm creeping towards the notion that it might be a publicity stunt, I'm beginning to resent myself for thinking about it or talking about it.
If it's a publicity stunt, isn't that pretty fucked up?
Yeah, if it's publicity stunt at this time with everything that's going on at the moment, that is insane.
Yeah.
To do that, it's
but the other big rumor about it is that there might be another streaming service called Beam that him and some other prominent streamers could be getting involved in, and that might have gone against.
Wasn't Mixer Beam originally?
Well, but potentially.
Yeah,
I think it was Beam
that was
or
the
something.
Microsoft one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
but that's it though, because if this is all being drummed up for some sort of promotion for their streaming service, then fuck that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just his last Twitch video was clearly, if it is a publicity stunt, was clearly a way to play on all that stuff. It's just fucked up. There's some streamers don't do whatever. They're not all the same.
But then we don't know at the moment. Obviously, he's got a very a very dodgy past in the things he's done and said and stuff. But right now, I guess what's so weird about it is that he's done one tweet saying, Twitch has not notified me about why. About behind their decision. Nothing else has really been said. Clearly, people know, but they've been sworn secrecy or signed NDAs or something. It's just it's the lack of information which is so unlike these sorts of scenarios.
And it makes it so strange that there is a legal element to it, doesn't it? The fact that the fact that some people who I can't remember if it's people who know him, but other prominent streamers are like, oh, I found out what is going on, and I also can't talk about it. It's I mean, I suppose anyone could say that, but yeah, it's interesting.
I will say this, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I do not get the appeal.
No, never have.
Maybe I'm an old man, but I do not understand the appeal of that.
I know it's
so there's other rumour potential new service called Brime, but also some people are distancing themselves from that, but it's all very strange.
What shit name? Alright, okay. Brime. Okay. Okay. Right, okay, let's move on to the next story.
Okay, so there's been a leaked Microsoft document which is once again hinting at another next generation Xbox. This is like the Lockhart, it seems, and it appears that it is real. And so what it is these documents mention this Lockhart mode for developer kits. So this would be a profile will then appear, so then they can tailor games to that profile. And it appears to be a lower powered Xbox, which has got 7.5 gigabytes of usable RAM, whereas the Series X has 13.5, so it's kind of half, I guess. And
what's the Xbox One X got?
I have no idea.
And how's it compared to the Xbox One X? Because that's what's interesting me.
That is a good question. I wish I'd thought of that before I started putting this news together.
Let's have a look.
News, James Farley.
Come on, I don't know you're going to do
One
that.
X has got 12 gig of RAM.
12 gigabyte, yeah.
So it's less
Right,
than
okay,
that.
so it would be weaker than the One X.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, the big rumour is that it was actually it was as powerful as the S, the current S.
Oh,
That'd be
Right, okay.
That'd be not great. And
Why
it's
wouldn't
got,
they just...
Yeah, it seems weird.
and it's also supposed to have like 12 teraflops of GPU performance. That's what's called the Series X has got, whereas the Series S has got 4. So it's like quite a big downgrade. But it's supposed to be a machine that's going to target 1080p or like 1440.
Okay.
gaming.
1440,
I wonder
yeah.
if it's maybe the idea is that it'll still have the smart delivery and the SSD and all that shit, but it's like, look, if you don't need your games in 4K, actually this is all you need, mate.
Yeah, I think it'll be that, and it'll be just a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
I think it'll be something like that.
I mean, that's interesting because I'm not especially fussed about 4K, to be honest. For the size of my telly and the distance I sit from it, it's the difference isn't night and day. So if I can save a couple £100 and just get a decent 1080p machine, that's sort of tempting.
I mean, a lot of people in that boat. I've seen a lot of people go out in recent years and just buy an Xbox One X or a standard PS4.
Or if you're just using it like I do, just for
expensive
multiplayer gaming.
Yeah.
I only use it for that really. And if I can get one of these for like a lot cheaper, then yeah, much more chance I would.
Although this
Yeah,
does
for sure.
scupper my excellent theory about the One S today. Do you remember this, Dave?
I scuppered it within 30 seconds of you posting it in our group. Go on, explain yourself. Go on.
I mean, yeah. I just thought it would be interesting. I had this theory that the Series S even, was going to turn out to just be like a streaming box, and it was just going to be like, do all your Project xCloud shit on it. It's small, it's cheap. But clearly that's not happening, is it? It is an actual
because
console.
I said instantly, why would they charge £200 for that when they want that app, that xCloud
because
app
not everything can
on
just
TVs
install an
and
app
shit.
on it. I can't on my telly. It's a smart TV, but it's a fucking Hisense.
No,
so
but
good
you've
luck
got
putting
a
anything
fucking
on it.
Fire Stick. You've got something that you can plug apps, like download apps
Yeah,
to
true. Yeah, I got the Fire
and
Stick.
view
yeah,
on your telly,
yeah.
right? Fire Stick, all that shit. Yeah, they're
There
going to
was-
get it
It's
on
much
that.
more
There were
likely just
rumours-
if they were to do it, just release their own dongle.
Yeah, well, there were rumours ages ago, weren't there, that they were going to
Well,
do
that's
that?
what I mean. Yeah,
that
yeah.
there was
So
going to
I
be
was thinking
something
that
like
was going to be because I think they've said, haven't they, that whatever the Series S is, they would like to one day get it down to basically just being like a Fire Stick or whatever. So yeah, so I wondered if that's what it was, but it's not. So,
I mean, there's also rumours there's going to be like an August. Is this really the news about August, James, or not?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, because this was all related to, so in early May, Microsoft have said they were going to do this thing called Xbox 2020, which was a series of what they were calling monthly moments to reveal details of the consoles and the games that were coming over the next couple of months. So we had that event in May. Was it in May or was it? Yeah, it was in May where they showed off the third-party stuff. But then people have noticed now that there's not really been anything for June. Nothing's really happened. The speculation is that actually this was the month that they were going to show the Series S. If E3 had gone ahead, this is when it was going to be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now obviously that's not happened, so they've had to rework it instead. So now it seems that July we're getting they're going to show the first party games probably in July, and then in August there'll be a bigger event. I think will be.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they don't need to say much about the S today. They don't need a separate.
I don't know, because now that we know
the
the PS5 comes in 2 different flavours and one of them's cheaper than the other, surely... So everyone's going to be...
we don't know that. We're assuming that.
Yeah. So everyone's going to be comparing, obviously, the PS5 with disk drive. That's going to be going toe-to-toe with what we currently know about the Series X. But for those people who are looking at the PS5 without a disk drive, what's the Microsoft version of that, right? And surely that's where the Series S needs to come in. So we do sort of need to know something about it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that why wouldn't you just show off all the first party stuff, right? And then say, here, you can also play it on the Series X. If they did a very similar thing to Sony's show, but at the end of it, they didn't just show the PS5 and the PS5 Digital Edition. They showed the Xbox Series X, then the Series S next to it. That'd be enough.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It feels weird that they're separating that out to another month, but who knows? No one knows.
For the Series S, what do we think? Will it have a disc drive or not? Because I'm betting obviously
I'm thinking not. Yeah,
I reckon it'll just be like an all digital kind of thing because they've already tried that with the other one.
Yep.
And I'll be tempted as well.
I'm still very much in two minds about them reviewing this, and would this confuse the story? Is it ultimately good to have two? But I think it needs to have. I think it's too messy to say. Okay, obviously it's all rumors, but it's not 4K. There's going to be so many little asterisks.
Yeah, it's certainly
also,
very strange to be
they do that whole thing.
So there's two new consoles. One's better than all the other ones, and then the other one's sort of in between the old ones.
Yeah, but then the old ones work and play your games.
They're gonna if they release a. I mean, we always said that they would treat the X as One X as their Series XS or whatever. Yeah, the entry level model, right? They're obviously dropping support, or not support, but they're dropping, all marketing and pushing people towards the One consoles. And they've just got this is the next gen. It's these two games. Just if you've got the older consoles, you can still play them for a bit. But
no, I kind of agree with Matt with that because it's because their whole thing is we've got the most powerful console, not this one, that one over there. It's odd.
But that's the situation they're in now. And they're still selling S's and
no, but they're old ones, aren't they? This is for the new next generation, as it were. I know that they're not saying this is like a new generation, but it is. And it's they're their whole big thing is the Series X is the most powerful games console. That's what you should know us for. And then it's but not this one. Because
when they see the price tag, they just go, well, if you still wanted a new Xbox, but you didn't need all this extra power, and then you've got the cheap. I think, as we say, it's like the phones, right?
Mm.
You just, you can get the Pro model, or you can get the...
That's true.
I think that makes sense. It makes sense to have two different price, different SKUs, price points. It's more it's not a clean cut saying, this is the Series X, it's the most powerful thing ever, does everything. This is the Series S, it does 4K, but basically it has a smaller hard drive, or no hard drive, or it can't, there's some key features, whereas as it is...
I don't think you can pin that down.
Series S... Well, it can do 1440p. Most people don't think it. Most people probably think it just goes 1080 to 4K. I guess mainstream people. So, what's 1440? Does my TV do it? I don't even know. And
but I don't.
But then One X does 4K. It's just
but then, like you say, the phone analogy works because it's quite common. I mean, I'm a Samsung guy, so every year when new Samsung stuff comes out, I pay attention. And yeah, their common thing is here's the new range of flagships. There's usually three tiers to it, and yeah, usually the bottom one will be not technically as powerful as last year's top one, but it'll have some of the the design influences and advancements in it. It just won't have as much power necessarily, or some of the features might be missing. So that does happen in phones. So.
Well, it happens in computers as well. You look at the MacBook range, and you go, well, what are you going to be doing on it? Well, sort of type in and just some light editing work. We'll get an Air. Or I want to use it quite a lot, probably do some video editing and all that. We'll get a Pro. I think it makes sense to me. They don't have to pin down what one machine can do and what one machine can't do. They don't need to just separate it out in those sort of specific terms because they can't. Different games would be able to achieve different things. But what they'll say is, look, if you want the best graphics, the best looking stuff, all that sort of stuff, get the Series X. If you don't care, if it's for a kid or something, get the cheaper one.
The 4K or not thing is massive because, obviously, as I've said, I'm looking at my PC and thinking, oh, well, could I technically just drag that through another generation with a few upgrades? And I think, but surely it's nowhere near as powerful as PS5 or the Xbox Series X. It's well, no, it's not. But if I don't want to run the games in 4K, it doesn't need to be. So...
I reckon both consoles will be capable of running 4K games. It's just there'll be far less 4K games on the cheaper model.
But it's the SSD anyway that's supposed to be the big deal. And if they both got that, then fine. That's okay.
Do you think they're going to properly phase out One X and One S?
The One S they will, but I think the X will be around for a while, at least another 2 or 3 years.
Depends how much everyone.
Yeah, I reckon about 2 or 3 years.
Depends how much they deliver on this promise of instant loading and stuff, right? once if everyone gets used to that, and if it's as good as they say, and everyone gets used to it, then that's really going to date the One X quite quickly, I think. Even though, as you say, it will technically be more powerful than the Series S or whatever. I think, that convenience and that lack of friction in the general experience of using it, and especially if games are going to start being built differently, assuming you've got an SSD, then it's going to be weird.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I was thinking, okay, well, why do an S when they could just say, here's the One X, and actually like this, here's the Series X, but the One X now is like our cheaper one. But I guess if there is things in the Series S that actually is going to help them in the long run, then I guess. I guess that
like
makes
the
more sense.
hard drive and the architecture built around the hard drive.
I'm fascinated to see how they communicate. I know 2 SKUs make sense, 2 prices make sense, but I'm interested in how they communicate and what it is.
Cool. And remember that they're not too worried about which one you buy.
No, as long as you're
just waiting to get
Do you
Game
know what
Pass.
I mean? They don't really give a shit.
ecosystem.
So it's not like they have to go, the Series X, this is why you should get the more expensive one. Look at this. They just need to go buy an Xbox, whichever one you want. It's fine, as long as you sign up to Game Pass, then we're happy.
But also in the week, I mean, there's this prominent leaker or someone who leaked other bits, which turned out to be true about potential like PS5
this
prices.
was interesting, wasn't it?
And they said, well, I mean, they had like prices in euros and dollars and pound stuff. Basically, it's like $499, and then for the non-digital version, the digital version, they estimate it could be like as little as $349. £150 difference is going to be massive.
Yeah.
It would be massive, but then if the rumours about the Series X being 400 and the S being 200, it's still going to look like really way more expensive, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, neither one wants to reveal their prices first. So it's gonna
it kills me. I can't wait to hear
it's going to be amazing
to know the prices.
I think we're going to hear about the prices so late. So late, because neither wants to make the first move.
I don't think they can they? I mean, they want to get the pre-orders in.
I guess. I mean, yeah, and actually I think a lot of people said at this stage we would have already had pre-orders in for weeks, potentially months at this point.
It's
all
crazy.
I know is going to happen with this is I'm going to end up having to do a speech on YouTube or whatever, because Sony are definitely going to do something really stupid. They're definitely going to be stupid with this, and then I regret that so much.
If they're both doing 2 SKUs, what are we doing? Are we adding them together and then dividing it like we're taking the average?
Could work. Yeah.
We got to think about this. We got to think about this, Sean. We got to have a little discussion between the two of us. I think.
No, okay, fine.
Right.
So,
Cool.
I mean, also there was some other like quick
What
kind
are
of
you going to
weird.
say then, Sean? But then we're going to have to do some maths.
No, because you can't.
Or you're going to have to buy a calculator.
Because with the PS5, right, it's disk drive or no disk drive. The actual spec otherwise is the same. Whereas with Microsoft, they're 2 different consoles, right? So that's not really like for like, is it?
Yeah.
No.
Well, no. So then we say, right, we just go for their flagship.
I think
console.
we just go. Yeah, I think we just go by the flagships and.
Well, as I say, we'll discuss it between the two of us. James, Matt, we'll let you know our results.
Thank you. Look very much forward
Once
to it.
the prices are announced.
I know exactly
That's the way
whatever
to
that
do it.
discussion's going to go. How can we screw over James?
Once
Anyway.
the prices are announced at the night before they launch.
Yeah.
It's like tomorrow morning, they'll say something to
I've
quit.
already forgotten who was on which side. I can't remember.
I said Xbox would be cheaper.
Okay. Yeah, I think,
Because
I
you'd be
think
stupid to
Matt's
bet up
probably
against
feeling pretty comfortable at the moment.
yeah, for sure. Poor James. All right, go on. Then.
Yeah. So also there was some other like weird stuff that came out this week. I mean, there's this whole thing where it's Xbox is sorry to get your hopes up about the new Perfect Dark and Fable Twitter accounts. So what this was that some people noticed that there were 2 Twitter accounts had recently been registered, one for Fable and one for Perfect Dark. That people then thought that this was pointing towards reveals for these games for the Series X. But then Aaron Greenberg came out and said, look, I know everyone's hungry for news, but sorry to get your hopes up. These accounts have been inactive for years. It's standard practice to use to secure social handles for our IP. And then it turned out that the Perfect Dark one had been registered by a fan, not even by Microsoft. And so the thing is, Fable is quite likely, isn't it? Like we've heard that's happening, that somebody's developing that, right?
Yeah, wasn't it?
it
was it Turn 10 who were
Yeah, that's it.
basically advertising
that's
for.
what I'd heard. But then apparently they said they were working on something completely different. So I don't know. Who knows? Let's wait.
This whole thing feels fishy to me, frankly.
Yeah.
Like, well, I tell you why it feels fishy. They seem very vehemently trying to defend,
it's not a
denying
thing.
all this stuff. It's like getting suspicious now when they're going. When they get someone to tweet from the account, just to let you know, I made this account and this is not actually linked to any game. And it's
I'm just a fan. Lol. It's just
suspicious.
They said, like the Perfect Dark one, the account was started in June 2020. The Fable one, the account. I mean, okay, we don't. The account for Fable may have been created March 2020, but obviously we don't know what the original Twitter name for that. They might have just moved Fable over to this new account. It's all very weird. I mean, Fable's obviously incredibly likely. Perfect Dark, potentially, but this whole thing just feels a bit fishy. I think they're just trying to find excuses and weird.
God, I hope if we're getting a new Fable and it is Turn 10 doing it, that'd be fucking great.
So what's this? Do you say you saw a quote, Dave, from them saying actually no, they're not doing it?
No, I'm sure I just heard comments and this that, and the other. It's all bollocks anyway, and who the fuck knows? We'll find out next month.
I mean, we do have a listener who works at Turn 10. Just saying, mate, get in touch. Do you know what I mean?
What are you talking about? Oh yeah, let us know. Yeah, let us know. Also, that's set with like Cockney accents and that. Get me in a recording booth. You've probably done all that. You've probably done all that already. But get me in that recording booth.
Well, Fables, it's all British regional accents. They should have all of us in. I mean, apart from Farley's
exactly.
a bit posh, but
Thanks, Sean.
a bit too nasal.
bit too Queen's English, whereas the rest of us, I think, everyone's like, they're all pleasingly regional, whereas James is like just on the level.
I mean, I saw. Is it Cammy? Your mate Cammy?
Yeah.
Doing his video about how
the dwarf thing.
every
That was great.
Scottish voice actor was shocking. You can hire him to be in your game to do voice acting and stuff. And I thought, hold on, all right, yeah, fair enough, that Scottish accent was terrible, but have you heard the Cockney ones?
And they're always gangsters.
It's just so bad. The one that from Tony Hawk's that was tweeted out today,
God, yes.
where he goes, "Hey up." What, mate?
What is he? It
says, "Hey up,
bloke" or something. Yeah.
Yeah, bloke.
I mean, you say that. At least people do try and put Cockneys in games, and they try and put Scottish accents in. When have you ever heard someone with a Northern English accent in a computer game?
No, they need to whack them into like a lot more games. Imagine that Cyberpunk. Oh, you're right. But Sean in Cyberpunk. Sit down there. We'll have a little cup of tea. Do you take sugar? I'm sweet enough as it is.
That's how we all talk.
Yeah,
say that all the time. It's not that. Yeah, they're just not cool accents.
What I'm saying is that if you need someone from a regional accent from where Sean is, then give me a call and I'll do it.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, because I don't have my regional accent anymore. It's all just sort of eroded over time.
Nah, you're more like us now, ain't ya? Right, okay, next.
Okay, so then also a developer is happy with Game Pass.
So that's good.
Just the one.
Yeah. It's this guy. It's this guy.
The rest are furious.
It's this guy called Mike Rose, and it's Descenders.
This guy
is
called
the game.
Mike Rose. He's given us codes before. We know who he is. He's not just.
Sorry. So anyway, his game Descenders has done very well on Game Pass, and
how would James know that? He never fucking gets involved with that
Yeah,
stuff.
James knows he doesn't respond with the coverage.
He just wants the free shit. He doesn't care where it comes from. He's just
he's just like, can I have code, please? Oh, here's a code. Silence.
Hold on, he said please.
Oh, sorry,
no way, that was James.
Code.
No, just write code.
Code. James Farley. And then like a PDF of a signed picture of him by a fireplace.
James Farley.
I should also say, I know James is just going off the information that's in this forum thread, but Mike Rose isn't the developer, he's the publisher. He works for No More Robots, who published it.
Okay, James, right. This hasn't started well for you here, boy. Let's get going.
It's a good story.
This is why I didn't want to include this story, and I did, because I just... Oh, never mind.
No, go on.
Why, James?
Because you suggested it, Matt, and I didn't want to...
No, I didn't. I just put it in the group. I didn't say, please include it in your news, please, sir. You like,
why did you include it?
That'd be great to talk about.
It's a good story. It's an interesting story.
We were talking about news.
Don't mug me off, James. I just put it in the group for us. I didn't expect you to put
Yeah,
it in the
because
show.
we were talking about...
Matt's fault.
We were talking about news, and then you just started putting loads of news in, so I just thought, well, you put that in the
needs
news.
to hear this. No
made
one
up
needs
stuff.
to hear this. Let's get going, James. Let's hear this story.
Anyway, it's sold 5 times as many units each week as pre-Game Pass on a weekly basis, and
What
their
do you
sales
think
have
that is?
tripled.
What's
So
the science behind that, do you think?
What do you mean?
Do you think it is literally word of mouth?
yeah, I
what?
guess so.
Can be.
Like, there's so many people on Game Pass. They've tried this game because why not? It's on Game Pass. They've fell in love with it, and then they've told all their mates about it, and they've all bought it.
No,
Is
it's not
do you
that. It's
reckon
not
it
that,
is?
Dave.
What is it?
I talked about this game about a month ago.
Yeah, but then I did,
Matt Murray, is it?
Clearly, yeah. I mean, I
mean,
didn't mention me in the
ego on the
tweet
man.
thread,
And to be
actually.
clear, like,
But yeah, I mean, like,
sorry,
No,
Did you
Michael.
send in all the coverage, Matt?
I didn't go on
Yeah,
Game
well,
Pass.
I think we all know the answer is yes, he did, because that's what the rest of us do, James.
Yeah,
Go
that's
on.
what you're supposed to do. But yeah, I guess like people see it in the charts and other people discuss it on podcasts because it's free. But I mean, I haven't bought a game I've played and enjoyed on Game Pass because I've got Game Pass and I've got it like I've got subscribed for ages when they did that deal. But maybe for people who have like a 1 month trial of Game Pass, they're like, well, I enjoyed it, so I'll keep on playing it. So
Maybe,
I'll buy
yeah.
it.
Yeah. I reckon there's loads of people that are just not interested in paying a monthly payment because there's only a few games they're interested
Well,
in
yeah,
playing,
'cause,
and they've
you know,
heard
but
about
there's
this
still
brilliant
that-
game because everyone's playing
Yeah,
it.
there's still that mentality of like, oh, well, I'm not signing up for 12 months. Like, like it's some massive
Yeah.
commitment, which, depending on your finances, I suppose it could be. But
Yeah, a bit out of order that, Sean. Go on.
Ooh. Did you want to apologise now or?
no, I'm good.
Wait till next week. Wait till next week.
But yeah, I mean, as we discussed, I wasn't a huge fan of Descenders, but this is still cool. Like,
Ooh.
assuming this is happening
You're
to other
putting the
games
boot
as
in
well, and we've made the point before that part of the thing that's cool about Game Pass is that you can just try out things that you might normally not have bothered with, and it's cool that is actually helping the developers out. And I would have expected. I think we've said before, obviously you get that warning that something's leaving Game Pass, right? And it's like, oh, and you can get 20% off. So you'd understand that generating sales. But yeah, Mike Rose has pointed out, it's like, no, we've signed up to just keep it on Game Pass. Why not? Like, it's because they're getting the sales from it anyway. So that's really cool. It's really positive.
10 million subscribers. I mean, and that's probably gone up.
Yeah.
It's madness what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
with that.
awesome that it's like they said, what it's like eighth most popular game, just in front of the Kinect game Disneyland Adventures. So
Oh, that is perfect though. That stuff.
just
I mean,
pipped
it is. That is it's perfect. That stuff on Game Pass.
So
I
yeah,
mean, when you got kids or whatever, you got Game Pass. You're just like a Disney game. There's that.
And you've still got a
Disney,
Kinect plugged in.
I was gonna say,
you
yeah.
don't need Connect for it, do you? I don't think.
No, you don't need
Yeah.
Connect from. Most of them are modded like that. I downloaded that Disney Rush game,
Mhm.
which was originally a Kinect game, but then they've just added controller support to it. So
Oh, okay, that's good.
Harry played through that one all afternoon, loved it, and then I deleted it. That stuff is perfect.
Why can't
to
they add
download.
controller support to Connect Sports?
I mean, how would you do that?
Well, don't Disneyland Adventures.
How would you do the Ricky
I'm not a
Gervais
developer,
dance
Dave.
in
I don't know.
Kinect Adventures?
That's their job, not mine.
Yeah. Good point. Sorry,
I
man.
mean, I've never played
Forgot about
that
that one.
Disneyland one. I've never tried it. Apparently, it is actually like incredible, just the attention to detail. Isn't it just basically
What's
just
that?
a recreation of Disneyland, isn't it? I think, and you can.
Yeah, I don't know this one. I haven't checked it out. Maybe I should
Well, it's
check
a
it
ninth most
out.
popular game on Game Pass, Dave.
There you go.
Yeah,
Banger.
no, I played the Rush one, which is basically just like a Infinite Runner, but with different Pixar things.
Okay.
No rushing.
So, and that was, it looked nice, and that done it. But yeah, I should check out that Disneyland one because I bet Joe would love it.
Plus, we can't actually go anytime soon.
New. Too much coronavirus. So, right, let's go.
Okay, so Ubisoft have also shown off a new Battle Royale game that's called Hyperscape.
No, they haven't shown off at all.
Are they not?
No.
I thought
Those
it was.
leaked.
Was it leaked?
It hadn't leaked either. Have you not looked? I mean, I don't know how true this is. It was just something someone was saying on Twitter, but apparently, just loads of streamers were tweeting about it this morning about how they've been working on it. So it's not like a leak. It's more that streamers have been talking about the game suddenly.
Yeah, which makes sense because according to the stuff, it's saying it's launching on the July the 12th, and it's been built with streamers in mind, is what they've said, with a full partnership with Twitch, and Twitch chat will apparently influence some of the game mechanics. It's basically a free-to-play, first-person Battle Royale game.
We have said this before, but I'm going to ask it again. Is there room for another Battle Royale game?
No,
Don't feel like it,
I
does
think
it?
this is.
But we've said that before. An Apex Legend come out.
Yeah, but Apex Legends was good. Maybe this will be good.
Yeah, but this might be good.
Exactly, James. Come on, chill out.
But Apex Legends still isn't doing anywhere near the numbers of like Fortnite and stuff, right?
It doesn't need to,
I
be
suppose,
successful, does it?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like.
I suppose the success
good
of
audience.
Fortnite sort of messes with your perception of success, doesn't it? It's like actually not everything needs to be Fortnite. Like,
oh, my son's got a new toy. Yeah, but is it as popular as fidget spinners?
Yeah, like
yes
everyone
or
basically
no?
thinks Fortnite is dead because I don't know. No, PUBG is dead because Fortnite came and ate its lunch. But I'm sure PUBG is still massively
it's still
successful.
raking
It's
it
just
in.
not quite as successful.
Well, the mobile version
of
PUBG does really well.
Is it?
It's like massive. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I think, am I interested in new Battle Royale? No, but if it's good and it's got some interesting ideas and everyone else starts playing it, then of course I'll start playing it, I guess.
I suppose,
but I'm not excited about the idea of a new one, but I'm interested to see if they do things that are different enough that warrants playing it.
And this has been teased because Ubisoft have got a website for this now.
Oh, really?
There is like a website. I mean, it says Hyperscape will be hosting, and it says the pulse pounding action of Crown Rush on the neon drenched streets of the virtual Neo Arcadia. Okay.
I hate all the language around this. Go on.
Can you read that out again?
Okay. Hyperscape, which will be hosting the pulse-pounding action of Crown Rush on the neon-drenched streets of the virtual city Neo Arcadia.
Cool.
So as
There you go. I mean, as I said, I think Radical Heights probably did it better. About all that stuff. It's
Okay.
I mean,
I've got zero interest in the new Battle Royale game.
Yeah, but it's not like we know what's next, right? It's like, but then maybe this will end up being like Anthem, where Anthem got announced, and it's like, okay, they want a Destiny. Everyone's doing a Destiny at the moment, fine. And then Battle Royale happened, and then Anthem came out, and Anthem looked really silly. There is
one good thing about this though, is that
Let's not throw us under the bus. It's just barely being announced.
That's what I'm saying. It's Ubisoft Montreal, and it's Rainbow Six Siege people as well.
Okay.
So it could be good. Yeah,
We'll see.
Siege was great.
We'll see. I thought the Rainbow Six Siege people were working on that Left 4 Dead style game.
Maybe they are.
There might have
Maybe
multiple
they're doing
teams.
this as well.
They might have multiple teams, so let's keep our eye out for those games.
Yeah. Right, but also at the same time, Call of Duty Warzone is adding.
This is where I lose interest a bit, Sean. I don't know if you've noticed. Go on.
Either way, Call of Duty Warzone is expanding. They're going to be offering like 200 player games soon.
Wow.
So yeah.
Is there any point
from
in
tomorrow-
that, though?
Mag proved that it is a fantastic idea, Sean. Don't
But
question
didn't
it.
Mag split everyone off? So it was actually you were only ever in skirmishes
Mag was
with
shit.
like.
I was
Did anyone
joking.
ever play Mag? Yeah.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I mean, like 4 50-person teams is insane. That's great. I mean, again, not gonna play it.
I don't know. I feel like that's above and beyond my comprehension of what's going on in any first-person shooter at any one time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
But just
showing
imagine
off,
how
innit?
cool it's going to look if you're on the battlefield and you see like you and 49 of your buddies all like flanking.
I haven't
and-
got
Yeah, but you won't
49
know,
mates.
that's the thing. You never do with these games. It's not like you play your Battle Royale games and then suddenly there's 99 people in front of you, standing in front of you, running
It's
at
going
you,
to
is
be like 30 people hiding in a building.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's different. This isn't like all against all. This is literally like 50-person team with 4 of them.
but it's not like
that
you can
can be
meaningfully
different.
like communicate and strategize with more than 3 of them.
Could you imagine the voice chat? We struggle with 4 of us.
Yeah. That's a lot of experience.
It is. Right.
Especially if
next
Sean's on
story.
the game. Okay. Anyway, Animal Crossing had an update as well. Well, it's having an update. This is coming on the 3rd of July.
Update.
So, yeah, I mean, this is disappointing, isn't it? I mean, they're adding a couple of things. They're adding the ability to swim. You can catch new sea creatures for the museum. There's this thing, there's Pascal the sea otter, and it gives you these mermaid-themed DIY recipes. And apparently Gulliver is going to get some new pirate-themed clothes and will give you a special reward, whatever that is.
Right.
And then there's another
Gulliver's
apparently
the
there's
worst.
another update coming in August, but no other details yet of that.
Close to tapping out.
I already have.
I'm
Not in,
surprised
I'm
you-
not like, oh fuck this game. I just not felt the need the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not turning
I
on
do
it.
not blame you.
I'm all right. And this isn't
James,
pulling me back
before you
in.
ask the question, James, I'm still playing it because my wife is now playing it a lot and my son is playing it. That is literally it. If it was just me, that'd be gone.
See, I'm looking forward to the Game of the Year discussions for this game because I've got a lot of thoughts about this now.
It's going to
be
go
through it.
Going to be really weird.
Yeah, I definitely slowed down, but Elodie is massively into it now, which I'm loving.
Cool.
This is definitely the first game she's properly got into, and it's brilliant to see. So she's constantly saying, "Oh, I want to build this," or it broke my heart this morning. She wanted to. Jill came upstairs and said, "Oh, Elodie's trying to build a bus stop or bus station." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know if you can like buy bus shelters, but okay, we'll do something." And she's like, "Yeah, she wrote a letter to Dom." Saying, I want to build a bus stop. Will you help me? I was like, oh, God. It's too heartbreaking.
That's not how it works.
Too
That's not how it
heartbreaking.
works, kid. The thing is, we know how much Matt loves his island and how, particular the man can be.
No, we
Is it a nightmare
that,
for
yeah.
you?
It went as low as 3 stars. I was like, what the hell, Elodie?
What have you actually said? Has she tried to build something or do something? Has she got terraforming?
Have you cordoned her off an area and just said, let's go over there?
Well, no, so...
Bit like a prison, yeah?
I had been like kind of... I haven't been playing it as much, but she'd been into it, and I turned on one day and all my beautiful paths and my town is just, she's got paths now, so it's an absolute state.
Oh my
and I was
God.
like, what is happening? And so I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll move your house, Elodie, and I'll tidy it up. Well, let's get a 5-star town. That'd be great, eh? Let's do that. 5-star island.
Matt,
did that,
what are you doing?
and then today she's bought all like the sort of all the pathway stuff because I think she might have made the paths look shit under my character, but now she's got paths and also custom paths on her character. So yeah, it's fine. I mean,
you've got to let go. You've got to. I mean, I went through that initially with Harry, and then I remembered that it's a game designed for children to build, and be creative with. You've just got to sit back and go, do you know what? Yeah, if I get upset about you ruining the work that I've done on this fake animal town, then I really need to.
Yeah, and
have
I mean,
word.
she's done it a good time. If she'd done it like a month or two ago, I'd be like, "Come on, this is mental." But I'm like less interested now, so I'll just tie it up once a week. But she's having a whale of a time with it. So
Matt,
good.
we had the
listen to
Waterworld
Dave.
incident. We had the Waterworld incident where I woke up once, went onto the island, and it was just like there was barely any land left. I tidied that up. Then there was the sand incident where he just put sand everywhere. Tidied that up. But recently, he's done some really nice stuff, actually. Like putting fences up around people's houses and little roadways and pathways and all that. He's really sort of got the knack of making things look nice now. The only thing that I've really done is put a couple of things at the back of the island. He's pretty much done the rest of it. Like, he saw your waterfall entry, Sean. And I started doing it, and then I got called away, so I saved. I thought I'd do that later in the evening. Then we sat down, I turned it on, he'd finished it off, and it looked great. And I was like, wow, fucking hell, nice. So, yeah, he's a little tea leaf, is what I'm saying. He's completely nicked your idea, but no, they do get the knack of it. It's just, yeah. There we go. Sorry, James, you were going to say...
I was going to say, you don't have to let go, Matt. Just buy multiple consoles. Then it's not a problem anymore.
I mean, if she starts playing another,
you can rip them off as well. Like,
if she starts playing other games, then maybe we will get our own Switch. But yeah, she's loving it. It's brilliant. But back on this update, yeah, I mean, this is terrible, isn't it? Really, it's just this isn't making me think. Yes,
what we need is like new houses, new characters, new. Definitely new items. I mean, Nook's Cranny now. You wake up,
what's the
you
point?
go over.
This is what is insane because in previous games, it's not been like this. It's been like, after you'd spent a certain amount of money in it, or after you'd spent a certain amount of time, it would update to the next version of it. But we seem to be just stuck on version 2 for like months, and it's ridiculous. Like, this is the thing that I dislike the most actually about the game is the way that it seems to be tied now purely to DLC, which is really irritating because it means that you can't. It doesn't seem to be like an upgrade path anymore, apart from just waiting until you get these like piecemeal tiny updates. It's awful. I mean, it's the usual thing of like Nintendo have kind of running a live service game with this, but they're also, as Nintendo do with online stuff, totally half-arsing it, and it's just
they're not adding enough. They're not adding enough quick enough. Like, and then they were like, "See you in August." Like,
Yeah.
oh, fucking hell, a month.
Yeah, there's just no
Jesus.
excitement when I'm like, I go in the shop, I don't need anything, or I bought it all. Oh, it's the same song every day. I've got that song, and there's like, the catalogue is pointless now, basically, because that's the same every day. That never changes.
Yep.
Yeah, shame.
I will say this though, I have decided this time to not show Harry the promotional video.
Yeah.
Because I think he'd like it more if he didn't know what it was. But, like, he just wakes up one day and then he can dive.
Definitely, yeah, that's a great idea.
You know,
I did watch the trailer with Eladin. She's amazing. You could swim. Like, yeah.
Sure can. I mean, I'll
if you can be bothered, Jesus.
You could do that in New Leaf.
I mean, I'll
as well.
check it out, obviously. But yeah, it's like James is saying, like, we're still nowhere close to the amount of stuff that was in previous games. And it's just weird that we're still. I mean, maybe by the after a full year has taken place, we'll be there. But it's just strange at this point.
But then also maybe they
it
were
needs
always
a
going to
furniture shop where you can just piece together furniture. That's what it needs. It needs to create your own custom furniture, please. Feature walls in buildings, all that shit.
Okay.
Sorry, Matt. Sorry, I cut Matt off.
I was just going to say,
so.
like, maybe they're always going to eke it out.
Maybe. It was just. Obviously,
But
it's
for how long?
asking
Are we
too
going to
much
see
of
directs in
asking too much of Nintendo to expect a fucking roadmap. But I feel like that's sort of what I need.
No, I mean, I do fully expect them to keep updating this and for like years. Unlike where, here's Animal Crossing on GameCube or whatever. It's like, here you go, and then you play it, and then the game clock and things you do in the game only, no services, dictates what you see and what you can get. Whereas this, they're like, well, this is the one Animal Crossing game we're going to do on Switch and maybe next console, who knows? Like, so they've obviously, it'd be great to get new things every week or month, but
like none of the updates have
You're
been...
saying that in a few years you're going to be demanding they rename it to Animal Crossing. Get rid of the New Horizons bit.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great, yeah.
Move on.
Okay. Last story is that there is a Disco Elysium TV show in the works.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, mixed feelings about this. So obviously, for one, I don't think like everyone's saying, "Oh, who's gonna play the detective?" Well, I don't think anyone is. Surely it's going to be a different story set in the same world because obviously, Disco Elysium, the game, obviously it follows a fairly rigid story, but how you shape that character can vary a lot.
Just Kim. Just about Kim.
Could be just about
please
Kim,
be about
TV
Kim.
show. I'd fucking watch that. But obviously also because Disco Elysium isn't the first, work set in this world. Robert Kurtz, who wrote it, he previously wrote a book set in the same universe, which again doesn't quite. I think it's set like 50 years after the game. So who knows? I don't think it's going to be about HDB, but we'll see. The other thing that worries me a little bit is it's this DJ2 Entertainment that are supposed to be working on it.
Yeah.
Which, okay, they were involved with Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which you guys tell me was actually pretty good. But this is also...
I wouldn't put Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, alongside something as, weighty as the Disco
Elysium. This is also
Elysium.
the company that's supposed to be doing the Sleeping Dogs movie and the We Happy Few movie and the Life is Strange series and the Vampire series.
Oh, right, okay, so it's not happening.
So,
then.
I'm a bit sceptical. I mean, they did produce Skulls of the Shogun cartoon. Any of you play Skulls of the Shogun? I played about 5 minutes of it and didn't really get on with it. So they've made some stuff, but you look at the website and it's just they do say their specialty is making TV or film adaptations of video games, but there's a lot of stuff on there that just hasn't seen the light of day, and the games have been around for years. So who knows?
Maybe they're just buying up the rights to it.
Maybe, yeah.
But
But then the devs aren't idiots.
A big part of that game is the internal dialogue, and if they try and put that into TV, is that going to really work?
Yeah.
And imagine that. Hello, and it's like a guy dressed up as the devil, pops up behind him and goes, "What are you gonna do
It'd be
now?"
that fucking bit. I know you won't have seen the show, but it's a famous clip from Sherlock where he goes to his mind palace. Fuck me. When you get a chance, just Google, so YouTube, Sherlock Mind Palace. It's the funniest fucking thing. And everyone in the comments is like, oh, this is so good. It's like you can see Sherlock Holmes' brain working. It's amazing. It's the most laughable fucking thing I've ever seen. And that's what it'd be like.
I've got one day I'm going to have to tell you the story of when I did my A-level drama piece. Because even I look back on that and cringe.
Is that on film somewhere?
No, it's... Oh, it would be. Yeah, it was filmed
Oh, shit.
for the
Excellent.
assessors.
Shit.
I got an A for it.
Brilliant.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
It must have been
we'll
good
get on
then.
YouTube next week.
It was bad. I don't know if I'd have access to it, but...
Well, I'll get access to it.
Yeah, we'll figure
definitely
something out.
haven't
Farley can do
done
the
access.
editing on it. You know, 1 for 1.
Good luck, Lid. Right.
Yeah, I'll do some sort of Freedom of Information Act, I don't know.
I don't think you could do that for GCSE work.
No,
Lid. That's
I think you
a
can
bit
do it.
weird.
This information needs to be in the public domain.
Excuse me, freedom of information. I need the GCSE work of, or A level. It was A level work of this person. Okay, is that you? No. Why do you want it?
It depends.
word
It
should
depends
be
on if it's
there.
in the public interest or not.
Exactly, and I think this
I think it is.
That's the
Definitely,
point. Well,
Yeah.
it definitely is, isn't it? Celebrity like me. You could get hold of that footage. Good point.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
That's it. That's the end of the news.
Okay. Thank you for the news, James. Do you want to continue talking?
About what? What do you want me to talk about? The what you've been playing? Because
Computer
What
games.
you've been
Yeah, I mean,
playing.
typically
The what
that
we've
is the
been
next
playing.
section of the show.
You want me to talk about the what
the
you've been playing?
well,
Yes,
all
I want you to talk about the games you've been playing this week.
well, the only games I've been playing, or the only game I've been playing, is The Last of Us Part 2. That's pretty much
Oh
it.
yeah,
Is it any
Let's
good?
do a
like,
quick catch up. We don't need to go too crazy, do we? Because we're still, what are we? We're just under halfway through. We're around the same sort of area.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'm about 13 hours in now, I think. That's what I
Oh,
was
did you
from
play
last
more
night.
today?
No, last night I played a bit more. It's, yeah.
What, like after midnight?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay. Because James
boy.
said, oh, okay, I'm done for the night. And then he went back to play some more. And then, about 10 past midnight, I said, right, okay, that's me done. And I thought you were done as well, but you must have continued about 1 o'clock. then.
I went and got into bed, and then I got up again. Because
Like Chumbawamba.
I went back to it.
I realised I was not going to get to sleep. So I thought I'd play a bit more.
It's
So I
very
did.
good, isn't it?
It is very good, yeah. It's
I have one concern, and this is one that I've voiced to John the other night. I think I voiced it to him this morning, and he kind of agrees. The only thing that I think we've all heard it's relentlessly brutal,
Mhm.
and it's very dark, and all this sort of stuff. The one thing I think it's missing from the first game, in every other way, I think it's better than the first game so far. But the one thing that I am really missing from the first game is any sort of empathy for any of the other characters.
Mm.
I'm not getting that at all.
I
And
don't
now
know about that. I mean, I had that briefly.
let me explain. I'm under halfway. There's always a chance that this is going to happen, right?
Mhm.
And that there's a big build up into these characters. But currently, I do not care about the other characters around me. Because the big thing with The Last of Us was Joel who had lost his daughter, and he discovered Ellie, and it was kind of a replacement daughter. But there was this weird dynamic between them where she was obviously way more mature than she should be for her age. Joel was still trying to be a father figure to someone who wasn't his daughter. And there was that complicated, and the characters they met, there was a lot of characters that sort of took you in and felt like part of a family straight away, and then you started to care. There's none of that in the opening half of this game, is there really? There's just a lot of anger and death and, grittiness.
There is,
So,
but
I'm missing that aspect of Last of Us, and this is relentless. But
Mhm.
I will say, I think it's some of the best pacing I've ever played in a game. Which kind of contradicts what I've just said. But sorry, James, what were you going to say to that there?
Yeah, you see, I mean, I would say, like, where you're getting up to now, I think things do change quite a lot, actually. In terms of that. But you see,
yeah,
again,
I think so.
this is so difficult to talk about because everything that I want to talk about with this game is about characters and about how it's making me feel. But I can't because it will totally ruin the story.
Yeah,
like, if
that's
I do
why
that. And
we
it's,
need to have a spoiler cast.
Yeah, it'd be so good when we could do that. I mean, I've got a couple of things which I'm not... It's not that I'm not happy about it, but that you spend a lot of. I know this is ridiculous, but you spend a lot of time in this game, like in the dark with a flashlight on, like and that gets a bit much sometimes. I find, and I know that's part of the atmosphere building and that kind of thing, but just mechanically, it gets a bit irritating sometimes. Like just I know.
Yeah, I mean, visually it gets a little bit samey. And like I will say, and again, there's so much more of this to play, and the overriding feeling that I've got from this game is that it's utterly incredible. But you also start. I mean, I hope it starts mixing up the gameplay loop a little bit more, because at the moment it's very formulaic. No matter what you're doing, this is the bit where you do this. This is the bit where you do that. And it doesn't play around with that too much. The counter to that is, it does do that. But my word, every time I'm in any one of those loops, those bits, it's fucking incredible. Some of the combat areas in this are so far ahead of other games that it's a total joke. The bit that we've just done, and as I say, we won't go too far into what I was talking about that. So there's like an action sequence bit, but before that action sequence, there's a combat area, and that combat area is stunning. Like, not to look at, but the way it's all pieced, and the way that you can go and do one part of this area, and then
the other
quickly get to another part of the area and do bits there, and the violence and the combat, and it's just so well done. So well done.
See, and the other thing I love about that is that after you've because often you clear out an area and you sort of think, okay, I can move on now, and then you do the whole just exploring, looking around, seeing what you can scavenge and everything, and that's when you realise oh, actually, I could have played this completely differently. This whole combat sequence,
the
because
of times
there are so many different options here that I could have taken, but obviously didn't. And that's
there's
cool.
Tons of that shit.
I mean, that must give massive replayability. If you wanted to go back and play this through again, you could do this in a very different way, the way that you've played it the first time.
Yeah, have you had that moment where you walk into a building and you see a gap in a wall, and you're just like, why didn't I just go in there to get around that guy, and then I could have taken him out and then moved this way around? It's brilliant. And when it does all kick off, which it very rarely, I mean, in my playthrough, it's very rarely kicked off, where I've alerted everyone, they've all come for me. When it does kick off, though, that sort of taking aim, it's one of those where you have to stand your ground, take your aim, make sure you get a good shot off, because A, you ain't got many bullets, B, every time you miss, the reloading's quite slow and stuff like that. So you really want to get headshots on that.
It really is planning is everything for every encounter, and it's totally. If things do go to pieces, it's horrible, because you're just because you said, you've got so few resources generally. And I remember I shot this one woman I was taking down. She took about 6 shots, 6 shots from my pistol, because I kept messing up, and I was like, that's really annoying, because that's six bullets, and I'm not going to find those, to reload. And it's, you really have to consider what's the best option, for each encounter. It's
John's plan is like an action shooter.
Really?
And he says,
wow,
some of the bits he gets out of that is just horrific. He's seen violence that I didn't even know that was in the game. Blowing off limbs and then begging for mercy, and then characters reacting around you to what you do after that. It's
wow. Okay,
I didn't even know that was in the game. So,
but you see, that's the other thing I've liked about it, is that the stealth side of stuff. You see, I'm not a huge fan of stealth games at all, but this has felt really good. The way that it works in this, it's excellent. Mostly because you can still, she has the sensing skill, where you get kind of an outline of sound of where somebody's coming from and everything, so you've got a vague idea of where they are, and so you can sort of plan around that, which is great.
I only just recently realised what the pills were for.
Really?
Yeah,
okay,
imagine that.
Yeah,
imagine that.
Yeah.
I'm working that out and going you've got 400 pills.
What?
Just going,
man,
oh right, okay, well I'm now a superwoman. That's great.
But once you get a certain amount, there'll be a notification saying, hey, you've got a lot to upgrade now.
Yeah, well, no, it was just you've got this many pills. And do you know what I thought it was? I thought it was you get in other games, whenever you get pills or whatever, it's oh, you've got a percentage boost for 14 seconds or whatever.
Yeah,
you take this
I
pill
thought
and
that.
you go into a frenzy or whatever. But it's not. It's actually that's the upgrade tree. So yeah, now I feel amazing because I can. Yeah, I'm so much better than I have been for the majority of this game. So yep, good stuff. But we're probably going to talk about that for. I mean, I'm on track to complete it, not by the next show, but the show after. So I'm hoping that. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll have it wrapped up by then.
It's the first game that I played for a long time where I have kept on stopping playing, but then keep going back to it all the time as well. Like in the same evening, where you just think.
See, I haven't done that, but I have gone. Okay, half an hour, and then I'm done. And then you just get to that half an hour, and you're like, okay, right, let me finish this encounter, and then I'll turn it off. You finish the encounter, and you're like, just play a little bit more. It's I can't put it down.
Well, James, are you stopping it because it is so intense and oppressive, or you want to?
No, usually just because I need to go to bed. So it's like, and you just think I've got to stop now. But there has been a couple of times that though, like that, where when you sort of finish it and just think, oh, that was intense, but in the best possible way. Like this. The feelings I get from this, and I don't mean that in a sort of like, oh, it's making me sad way, but just like the intensity way are excellent. Like I haven't felt like this for quite a while. It's
for sure. Cool. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. Really, it's that's it.
Cool. Matt.
Yeah, so I've played a bunch of things this week. I played more Hitman on Sunday, and it was a much, much better stream. I really, really hugely enjoyed it. Obviously, last week I mentioned that I played it, and I felt a little bit embarrassed, a little bit silly, because I was still getting to grips with it, and I'm still getting to grips with it, but Sunday's stream was really, really fun. I did the first mission. I did that, which is brilliant. And then there's also Lucid Targets. Now, Lucid Targets were the things when Hitman 2016 came out and the second one came out. And they were, I believe, over the space of a weekend. And you got one shot, one chance to do as one particular assassination. If you die, that's it. You can't retry it. You can't save. But I guess it's been a while now since Hitman and Hitman 2 have been out. So now they're replaying those Lucid Targets, but over the course of a month.
Oh, cool.
And when I played on Sunday, there's only 48 hours left. There's one particular one where you go to Miami and there's a racetrack. And I was a bit nervous, but I managed to do that first time. I thought I am going to screw us up instantly. But no, I managed to do it, and there was a real rush to get that done, with just one chance, no saving. So I really, really hugely enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to going back. I'm certainly getting to understand it and its systems a lot more now, and it was less calamitous on Sunday, possibly less funny as a result.
I was going to say,
really,
I
really
saw some calamity, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
You did seem to be getting the knack of it a little bit.
Yeah. I'm definitely understand the systems more, and it's brilliant. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that. I played DayZ today. I streamed some DayZ for about 3 hours or so this morning. Because obviously you were spoken about it recently, Dave, and I mentioned at the time at first, it came onto the scene. I was really interested in it. It seemed excellent. I tried to play it on my Mac, and that wasn't working, and it wasn't really working on my old PC at the time. But now it's on Game Pass, and after you mentioned it the other week, I thought I'd try again. I guess in short, the premise is still amazing. It's got some really, really tense moments, but the UI is just so bad and weird. It kind of gets in the way of me massively enjoying it.
I mean,
did you find that?
By the sounds of it, it's doing so many complex survival types things that actually, trying to get that onto a pad must be a complete pain in the arse.
But I don't know. I still think that they could do better than they are. I mean, so DayZ, it's like a persistent online game where you're you start as one character with nothing, and then you go to buildings and stuff ultimately to try and get food and drinks. You need them to survive, otherwise you'll die if you don't hydrate yourself or have food. You need to get protect new clothing, weapons to take down either other human controlled characters on the server or the zombies, and then it's just a case of surviving. And then when you die, you restart with this stuff you had, which I didn't think that was the case. But I guess our servers are different settings, but that was at least how I played it today. But you come across something, and if you're holding something, you've got to like take it out of your hands and then drop that or put it in your inventory to go and pick something else up. And I don't know, like the UI, it just felt like it totally got in the way. Like it not intuitive at all. And I was playing it actually, like the official DayZ Twitter account retweeted the stream and said, "Oh, it's Matt's first go in DayZ. Come in." I had like 50 people like helping, which is amazing. Like loads of people from the DayZ community coming in and saying, "Okay, we should do this," or "Here's how you play it," or "Here's the buttons," or "You should do this," or "Go over here." So, really great to have that much help and support in the chat. But even so, it just felt like the controls got in the way. And by the end, I was getting more into it, and I'm sure, another couple of hours or so, I'll be fine. But that definitely got in the way of the enjoyment. But I'll still say it feels like really unique, like the type of tension and excitement you see when you see other people, when you're like anxious about whether you do want to go into town, where you need, say, food and drinks, you're about to die. But if you do, there will be, you are going to get into combat or skirmishes with other zombies or other people. And I think that is, in terms of tension, that feels really, really unique. I mean, we've played games like PUBG and Fortnite and other battle royales where you do have some tension where you're down to the last like few and you're trying to work out where the other enemies are. But this really, you do really feel like you're on your own, and you feel less powered than you do in like a PUBG or in a Fortnite. But so I don't know if I'm going to play it again. The premise is still really interesting, and the tension is definitely there. But I don't know, like actually playing it just didn't feel great at all. But maybe if I got used to it, it'll be better, and I'll look past them. And even people in the chat were saying like and some people in the chat played for like 4,500 hours. Like a lot of the people were like obviously incredibly hardcore about it, and they were saying like even we know that for beginners it's really, really like tough to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad I played it. And it's on Game Pass. It's not like it'll be there on my system if I feel like I want another go. And the other game, I mean, I spent most of the week actually just thinking about Last of Us 2. It's been in my head, still in my head now.
Sitting around.
I watched some like spoiler casts and stuff, and like I'm excited to go back to it. But I'm still now thinking about it every day. So there's that. But the other game I played is Golf on Mars, which I believe you've played as well, Dave.
I have.
This is the sequel
to
what's that game called?
Desert Golfing.
Desert Golfing, yeah, sequel to that. It kind of, I wasn't aware they were working on a sequel, but I saw Phil mention this the other week, and I was like, oh, cool.
Right, so if you haven't played Desert Golfing, it was like an iOS game or an Android game, where, I mean, it was even to the point where, so basically what you do is you hit the ball. It's a 2D side-scrolling golf game. Where you aim, you hit the ball, it goes into a hole, and then the camera pans over and it just continues to the next hole, which seems to go on forever. And the whole thing with Desert Golfing was that I think you had to do like 100 holes before you saw maybe a cactus instead of like, whatever. And the more you played, if you remember, it did slightly weird things, but nothing like mind-blowing. So like after like 500 holes, it would then give you an average score, like how many shots you've taken per hole, that sort of stuff, and a few other stats. And then after that, if you remember, it changed the shade very, very slightly every hole. So you would continue playing, and say you went past another 100 holes, you wouldn't notice the difference. But then when you looked at a screenshot of the game from someone just starting or whatever, it's a completely different colour. So it did like weird stuff like that. So I've played this. The major difference is that the physics are very different. Like there's gravity involved. Obviously, the ball bounces in a slightly different way. You can add spin. Have you noticed that, Matt? Yeah, you add spin to it. And
spin's the biggest thing. The fact you can put forward spin and back spin. And that's not even explained to you.
I was going to say, how do you do it?
Like, when you go to like,
you just sort of
when you
work
go to
it out,
hit it, there is like a circle around where the ball is, and it's not until you realise actually when you hold back before you let go to ordinarily hit the ball, and the circle appears, you can use another finger and spin or swipe left or right to do forward spin or back spin.
Oh, is that how you've been doing it?
Yeah. What way have you been doing it?
So I pull back like the power is where the power is, and I rotate around that circle, and then it starts spinning.
I've just been like using my finger on another part of the screen and like swiping left or right, and I think
I haven't noticed that.
Or up or down. It's one of them.
Both works, I guess. But Yeah, all I'll say is that I am now, 130 holes in, I think. And I was hoping that actually the concept of Desert Golf was brilliant. The fact that it was like small changes felt really important. You know, seeing that cactus for the first time, you were like, what? Seeing a rock for the first time, you're like, huh? And then seeing how it changed colours and all that sort of stuff. And if you remember, the devs had to put a tweet out saying, look, listen, there's nothing else. You've seen it all. Please stop playing Desert Golfing because, you know, we're worried about you people. And I was hoping, well, maybe this is like where they've put tons of these little ideas in. But yeah, I'm like 125 holes in and there's nothing so far.
But I reckon they will. I reckon you'll get to 500 or 1,000. And
it's kind of weird going to it though, because when you first started playing Desert Golfing, you got the physics instantly, right? And it was really easy to knock the balls in the hole. This one, the physics are way different. Like, and it's really jarring at first.
I mean, I've played
because of the lack of gravity.
I've only played a tiny.
Well, the lack of gravity.
I was going to say I've only played a tiny bit of this. I fucking suck at it. I am useless at it.
What
I'm
hole
literally
are
up
you
to like hole 4.
I forget it. Like for the first 10, I thought I'd sucked it as well, but you totally get it. Like after then, you do start picking it up. The only thing that I'm struggling with a little bit is the spin, because sometimes, like, it seems like I'm always putting way too much on, but maybe I'm just not controlling it right, like Matt's pointed out. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to recommend it, especially if you play through Desert Golf, because right now it's exactly what Desert Golf was. So I'm
it's
failing
such a
to see what this is all
chill
about.
experience. I love the fact, there's no UI. It's just the whole, the mechanics are simple. It's satisfying. It's just a great game to, like, it doesn't matter if you've got 30 seconds into it or like 5 or 15 minutes. It's just like a very chill, it's satisfying game.
Yeah, but why not just play Desert Golf? Because the physics in that are way better. Feels way more satisfying.
The physics are different, yeah. I think they're more satisfying in Desert Golf, but I don't know. I assume this will just open up when you get onto 500 or 1,000th hole.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's the problem, isn't it? We're sitting there going, yeah, well, when we get to 500, I started with 50. I was like, 50 will change things up. And it didn't. And then I went, well, it'd be 100 then, would be the first big change in this game. Got to 100, it was like, nothing there. Okay, so 500 then. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, weird. I just like golf games, and this is it's not as satisfying as the first one so far, but it's enjoyable, it's simple, it looks nice, even if it's incredibly muted sort of colour palette. And I'm a fan. I don't know if I'll play as much, because the first one did feel unique and weird and
took
like
my
more
life,
satisfying
man, that game.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
But
spend every day on that.
It's there. It's simple. I know what it is. I'm not like gonna be worried about. I liked the fact that you can just buy it outright, no ads, no nothing else. Is not going to surprise you. It's just that's the game.
Maybe it does. Maybe that's a twist.
It's got adverts in it.
Maybe you get to 1,000 and it opens up with
loads of ads, and you click on ad and it takes you to a different game or different planet.
It's an advert for Crazy Frog, I reckon. Jamster.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
I'm hoping there's something there, definitely. But yeah, I don't know, and I don't want to read up on it either because I don't want that shit spoiled.
No. I mean, one would assume, given
I don't
all
want
that,
my golf game spoiled. Spoiler warning: the golf game.
Yeah,
don't
I
tell me
haven't
what
checked,
happens.
but I bet, judging from what everyone sort of said and sort of guessed what might potentially be the case in the first game, I bet there's like a Reddit community saying, hey, well, I've seen this, and actually this is changing, and why are we on Mars? Who is Mars? Where is Mars?
Who is Mars?
Yeah.
I mean, we joke, but I can think of 4 different golf games that I wouldn't want spoiled. Do you know what I mean? Desert Golfing, Golf Story, What the Golf, PGA Tour 2019. There's 4 golf games there where I wouldn't want spoiled for me. So, yeah, maybe it's not as uncommon as we're making out.
Maybe.
Is that it?
That's it for me, yeah.
That's it for me as well, because they're the 2 games, Last of Us and Golfing on Mars, is it?
Golf on Mars.
Golf on Mars. They're the 2 I've been playing. So,
hello.
Sean, take to the stage.
A bit of a weird week. So I've played. Oh,
Tell me
I
about
meant to say last week, and I just forgot because we had loads of other stuff on. So I did finish Cloudpunk. Really good. Fucking loved it by the end. It's really interesting. You might remember I was saying about the voice acting not being brilliant. Just out of curiosity, sort of looked up a few of the voice actors and other stuff they've done. The voice actors are really good. Like they're certainly the main characters. So I do think it.
I thought you were going to go. They were rubbish.
They've done like a couple of school plays, and that's about it. No, they're all like there's some like accomplished voice actors in there. So I do think it was just I don't know, like a lack of direction. Like they were just handed a script and just recorded it. Like no complete isolation, no direction or anything. So that's kind of a shame, but the writing saves it. And the city is just a joy to fly around. And yeah, they've confirmed, I think they'd already confirmed, but yeah, console versions are definitely happening. They're doing like a cool physical release, which I might actually get, because it comes with some nice stuff, and it's a good game. I played, so I was going to play Spider-Man the other night, and I did eventually, and I'll get to that, but I put the disc in, and it went, 50 minutes to install everything off the disc, and there's a patch which will take 4 hours to download. Yeah, so I loaded up Watch Dogs 2 instead, because we talked about it when we did the talks over this week.
Well, we talked about Legion,
and I was saying like I should actually go back to Watch Dogs 2. So I got this. They did like a trial version that you could play for, I can't remember, like an hour, 2 hours, something like that. But it was essentially the full game, but it was just time limited, and I had to go and really enjoyed it. And then months later, it was on sale, and I think I only paid about a tenner for it on the PS4. And it's just been sat on my hard drive since. It's good fun. Have you all played it? I can't remember if you've ever talked about it.
Only James played it.
I played it and I really liked it. I mean, the thing I liked about it was you could approach things in quite different ways depending on how you wanted to like customize your character. That was the best
my
bit.
main thing is, I say my main thing. Certainly, there's been other options, but I've just been really enjoying, hacking the vehicles. So
yeah.
So they've just been
doing everything by remote is the best.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's that thing of like how many missions you can do by just sitting outside the building with your laptop out and just
and it's like just creating chaos that's going on inside, but you're completely
no one even suspects you. You just sat on a little on some grass outside the building or whatever. And just little things you can do. Like I was in this. So it was like a building yard, like a shipping yard, sorry. And I needed to get into this one shipping crate, but there's guards cutting around, and like I'd taken some of them out because they walked near, like electronic things, and I gave them a shock and stuff, knocked them out. And there's a couple left, and I'd recently got the ability to like put like an APB out on people, so the police will come and arrest them.
Yeah.
So it was like, right. You're now a suspected terrorist. Police are on the way. Police parked up outside this yard and like managed to get in. And as they're arresting this guy, I just like me hacking into a security camera. Just looked over to one side, just hack the gate open, hack the police car to turn to the left and drive into everyone. And it just drove into the yard, took everyone out, and then I just sauntered in and got the thing I needed.
You monster!
But this is it. It's although I don't necessarily like many of the characters in it, but some of the writing is quite sharp, even though the game's like a few years old now. The sort of satire of like the tech industry and stuff still holds up, I think. But it does sort of fall apart in that, you can just be an absolute fucking monster in this game. Like,
yeah, I mean, you could do serious murder is the thing.
Wasn't it silly enough to?
It kind of is, yeah. It's not like, because the first one was very po-faced, I think, wasn't it? Whereas this is a lot more lighthearted. But yeah, it's still jarring that like you're these cool freedom fighters, and you just murder people if you want to, man. That game doesn't judge you for it at all, as far as I can tell. As you're driving around, like if there's cars in your way, you just hack them to just turn off the road. Make him go off a cliff if you want. Doesn't matter. Family of four. He gives a shit. Like it. So that stuff is weird. But ultimately, you just like, it's a playground. Just treat it as such, I think. That's been cool. And And I did get on Spider-Man, and yeah.
Before you get to that, isn't there a Watch Dogs Legion event?
There's an Ubisoft event,
up?
isn't there?
Well, it's Ubisoft Forward in a couple of weeks' time, which is, I guess, Ubisoft's E3 thing.
But they've specifically said they're going to be talking about Legion.
Yeah. I don't think they have, but obviously a lot of people are anticipating
It'd
that
be very
they will.
weird if they didn't.
I'm sure I saw a graphic, but okay. All right, go on.
Yeah, Spider-Man. So obviously coming to this several years late. You've all played and finished it, right?
No,
Yeah.
I never played it.
James and
I
I
have.
have.
Played it, okay.
I'm interested to hear about how much better than Red Dead Redemption 2 it is, though, Sean. So,
Wait, where's that come from?
Matt, wasn't it?
I was really.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, I think you were the one who made that comparison.
No, I think you were. You said Red Dead Redemption was last gen, unlike Spider-Man, right?
No, those were not my words. I think you
that's
were
how it
like,
come up.
well,
I
what
think
about
that's how it come
Spider-Man?
up. I think that's how it come up.
I mean, obviously, I'm not far in, right? I'm like, I don't know, 3-4 hours maybe at the most. So I mean, the first big surprise for me was that the big
Spider-Man's
thing
in
that what? Yeah, Spider-Man's in it. Who knew? So the big bit that they showed off at the Sony conference a couple of years back, E3, I think it was an E3 one, where it was, everyone, all the villains breaking out the prison and Spider-Man properly getting his ass kicked. I thought that was the intro, but no, that hasn't even happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. I really, really like Peter Parker's relationship with Otto Octavius. Mm-hmm. That's really well done because obviously, I mean, I'm not like a big Spider-Man guy, but obviously everyone knows what happens to Dr. Octavius. Becomes, nearly said Dr. Robotnik.
Oh, God, granddad.
It's a twist.
But even knowing that, the way it's sold in the game is perfect because you are like, even though, I mean, I don't know if they pull the trigger on this in this game or not. Maybe they don't. But I am like, but when that does happen, he does become a villain. It's going to fucking suck. It's going to be really horrible because he's such a nice guy in this, and they really sell that.
Yeah, I think the rhyme between all the characters is really well done.
It is. There was one bit of the writing, and what didn't annoy me, it was just slightly weird. So when you first get the little section with MJ, and she's going through that. This sort of exhibition of Kingpin's stuff that's getting sold off, and it's all these sort of Japanese, artifacts and stuff. And she just doesn't shut up about Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It's like all she talks about. She's like, "Oh, here's a sword that Kingpin used to cut Peter with, and then I had to rush him to hospital. Here's a bunch of masks. Do you know who else wears a mask? My ex-boyfriend, Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man." But she's a great character. Like the sort of the whole interactions with, because again, I was like, oh, is this going to be one of the ones where they're together, or like he doesn't know her yet? But actually, it's that they were together and they split up, and that's sort of weird. And neither of them really.
This is one of the things that I liked about Spider-Man, though, was that it wasn't like yet another origin story. I was quite happy that wasn't the case.
It dives in he's at his peak basically.
Yeah.
Obviously he's still unlocking loads of shit as you go. But
it's weird how many times they've fucking done that, isn't it? Like in various different media forms. There's the origin story stuff.
Yeah.
Every time I hear about like a new Spider-Man film, it's like it starts with him getting bitten by a spider, and then he's got, and I'm like, what? Haven't we had that one about obviously 8 times?
That makes sense because, when you... Like, even though it's Spider-Man, everyone knows Spider-Man is... There are different versions of that origin story, and obviously everyone, if you're going to make a game on it, like, you want to be like, right, just so you know, here's the version we're going with. Whereas this sort of has its cake and eats it, right? Because it doesn't do that, and yet it is its own Spider-Man in so many ways.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take you through that origin story stuff. It just builds the world naturally, even though, like, it shouldn't make sense, should it? Because obviously the traditional thing is you're usually the character you play as is like they're as new to everything as you are, and they're your eyes on the world. Whereas this is like, no, Peter knows what's going on. It's just, again, through the writing, you just get a sense, like you learn it, even though you don't feel like you're being taught.
Yeah,
everything about the world.
Because he's still although he knows what's happening, it feels like he's still learning the full extent of his power, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's done really well.
absolutely. And it's everything's just talked about in a way that teaches you what's going on, but without you feeling like it's like here is now some exposition. Here is who this character is. Here's why you should care. Like, it doesn't feel forced in any way. So that's really good.
Have you come in contact with the police partner you speak to on the radio yet?
Yes,
Yuri.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah,
she's really good.
I thought she was brilliant. And
Yeah, she's a really good
their
character.
relationship as well was really well done. Like, I can see why people might get potentially annoyed with it, but I thought their dialogue was brilliant throughout.
I do find Peter's quips sort of annoying at times. I know that is the character.
That's sort of the point, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the relationship they've got. I think that works really well.
Yeah, and usually like his worst quips, there's usually another character, usually Yuri, being like, "Fuck's sake, Peter, shut up,
John, shut up, you cheesy."
So they know. They obviously, right. I've not actually talked about what it's actually like to play. Obviously, the traversal's fucking wicked. It's so good. Like, you start out doing a bit of web slinging, right, this is cool, but once you really get the flow of it and you really start, like every upswing and then letting yourself fall again and really sort of letting it breathe every time so you get maximum speed out of each swing, like, God, it feels so good.
There's real exhilaration from that, isn't there? And
it's amazing. And when you like pull off like a really low swing and there's all traffic and everything, you're like, oh my God, it's like proper little, like, gets your stomach almost. It looks incredible. Looks really beautiful. Certainly like, but it's like in the evening and the sun's quite low. I was like, I don't want time to advance.
The photo mode's brilliant as well for that.
Yeah. And then it goes to nighttime and everything's lit up and it looks great. Really good HDR, by the way.
Yeah. But genuinely really good.
With the traversal, it was one of the it's an open world game, but it's one of the first open world games that I played where I've completely avoided just doing any fast travelling. Because I was just enjoying going from place to place.
Why deprive yourself of that? Yeah. There is a lot of shit on the map to tick off. Luckily, the traversal sort of saves that. But I certainly don't see myself like 100%ing it. But equally, it's nice.
I didn't either. And at first I was like, hey, the traversal's so fun, I'll just get the backpacks because I want to keep swinging around. I got them and I was like, oh, hang on, maybe I will catch is there pigeons or something, I think? And then there's like, maybe I will do them. And I eventually did do, apart from like what are they called, like the bases, whatever they are, apart from them, I think I did everything else. But I didn't mean to. I just like, well, I'll collect these things now. And it is satisfying enough to do.
Yeah. What was I going to say next? Can't remember. Combat's pretty good. It's obviously it's very Batman. But it does just enough with the web slinging and stuff. It's got just enough of its own ideas. It's like that genuinely seems to be the thing with it, doesn't it? Overall, is that like it is a lot of borrowed ideas, but with just enough on top that it's like, actually, this is pretty fucking good.
I didn't like the combat at the start, but I think
did you not? I really struggled with it at first.
Kept improving the more sort of gadgets and abilities I got. It's like, okay, I can now use these in different ways or create my own sort of play style based off the abilities and tools and gadgets and stuff I've received. At first I was like, I don't know, I'm not really feeling it, but I really enjoyed it by the end.
I did knock the difficulty down one notch from amazing because I've just the combat was clearly good enough to justify it. I just didn't feel like a superhero because I was quite bad at it. And it's weird how quickly it throws all the different enemy types at you as well, whereas like with the Arkham games, it's like you play about 2 hours just with basic thugs, and then it's like, right, and now some of them have shields or whatever. Whereas this is pretty much within the space of about 20 minutes. You've seen a lot of the enemy types. So that was kind of strange, but overall, really enjoying it.
Do you think you'll keep playing it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The reason I was slightly late for this recording is I didn't really want to turn it off.
I'm really surprised. I thought you were going to hate it. I don't know why. I just thought you were going to hate it.
Again, it's because the hype's gone. I think if I'd played this at the time, if people were giving it 9 out of 10 or whatever, I'd have been like, well, come on, calm down. It's like, I think on paper in a lot of ways it is like just a 7 out of 10. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, there's just a lot of things to like about it.
Yeah, if you're not going in there I mean, I don't know, but I suspect that it's one of those games that if you're not going in there thinking this is the next big thing, then it feels like a really nice surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But if you are, I mean, it was the Fallen Order effect, wasn't it? Where the people, those amongst us that thought that Fallen Order was going to be like this, incredible AAA experience, was really disappointed. But those of us that just thought, Star Wars game, let's see what this is like. We really enjoyed it. So.
It just sort of nails, this is what you'd hope a Spider-Man game would be. And it's like everything's just about right. And that's what's good about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care for MCU or Spider-Man. Haven't even played the older ones, but this made me like Spider-Man. So I think if nothing else, it did that.
Yeah. And even the backpacks, again, I don't always... Just because the sheer amount of them, sometimes I'm like, oh, can I be arsed? But then you grab one, and then the little bit of lore you get with it is actually quite cool.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it'll just be like a drawing that a kid did for Spider-Man when he saved them or something, and he'll just. And
then when you start getting other suits and stuff, that's pretty cool to learn about.
Yeah, the other suits
I guess
are
if you're
stunning.
a Spider-Man fan, you must be amazing because it covers so much of the lore and the history and. I think you might get old comic books or something in those backpacks and stuff that, as a fan, you must be absolutely loving.
It's really nicely done. Properly enjoying it. Definitely going to stick with it.
James, James, do you really fancy getting that PS5 version, or do you think you've had your feel of it?
No, definitely, I'm really interested in that because I mean, it's not even because it's not a remaster; it's a new stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I definitely
the
want to play that
stuff. Yeah.
I still need to watch Into the Spider-Verse as well. I still haven't watched it.
It's the best film.
Yeah,
it's so good. And that, like I said,
I tried it. I tried.
Oh, Dave.
I didn't dislike it. I wouldn't go as far as saying that at all. I just didn't really get into it, and I didn't watch the full thing, so. I need
you start halfway through and.
Well, no,
I don't even know anyone.
No, I didn't start halfway through. That's not.
No, stopped halfway through.
Right, it sounded like you said.
But you didn't watch the whole thing, right?
No, because Harry got bored of it, so we turned it off. But I mean, I'll sit down and watch the rest of it. And
it sounds ridiculous for what is essentially a children's cartoon, but yeah, try and watch it without the kids.
Yeah, no, that probably will help. But the moment Harry sort of switched off to it, it wasn't something that I could say, no, I'm carrying on watching this.
No,
it doesn't work like that. So we turned it off, but maybe I'll go back to it.
Yeah. The other thing I'll briefly talk about is, speaking of playing games with kids, me and Isaac have got into Hot Wheels ID.
What?
Yeah, so
we're covering this, are we? Go on. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you familiar with these, Dave?
No.
So basically, these are Hot Wheels cars that have an NFC chip in them, and there's an app.
God.
There's an app which looks suspiciously like Asphalt 9.
Right? Oh no!
But so obviously my head starts spinning. Like, holy shit! Like, if it is just Asphalt 9, but you can scan Hot Wheels cars in, Game of the Year, mate. No, not even close. Not even close. I mean, like, the cars are like £6, which admittedly is like twice what you'd spend on a regular Hot Wheels car, but that's still like an okay amount to spend on a really nicely made little toy car in my book. But it's, God, the game is awful. It's so bad. Like, if you've got an iOS device, like a recent one with the cool AR shit, so you can scan the car and then you can view the car like real life size in AR, which I thought was interesting, but doesn't work on my phone. But like, the actual racing is just bullshit. It's awful. It's just, you're on a track and you can turn left and right and you can boost, but it's just so simplistic. It's just no fun at all. I mean, which in one sense is fine, because I can just give it to Isaac, who's, he's not even 3 years old yet, and you can basically do a race on it, because it kind of doesn't really matter what you do. And he enjoyed, like he blew his mind when, like, I took one of his real life cars and scanned it in, and then it appeared in the game. Like, he absolutely loved it. But so that stuff's cool, but it's just fundamentally, it's just no fun to play. There's like there's like challenges and stuff, like daily and weekly challenges, and you're like, all right, that's like a cool idea. Maybe I will do some of this. Oh, one of the challenges involves buying one of the smart tracks that you can buy, and then and race your real cars on it, and also somehow it links with the app.
Challenges, give us some money, please.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just really scummy, and it's such a shame because if it had been actually a half decent game, I'd have been well up for it. But they just couldn't.
So you've got to buy specific cars that work with this game.
Yeah, it has to be one of the Hot Wheels ID.
How much are they selling those for?
Cars are £6.
Oh my god!
Well, I
When
guess
you
that's
can
an average price of a blind bag. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, fucking hell, Hot Wheels cars are £1.50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
not like a small markup. You want to buy a Hot Wheels car, it's like £1.50. That's why they're so fucking good. Because, all right, you end up with fucking boxes and boxes full of them, but, you know, you go out shopping, £1.50 for a Hot Wheels car, cheer them up
Why
when
not?
we get home.
Yeah.
The branded stuff usually about £3, aren't they? Like if you want the Star Wars ones or the Mario ones or whatever. A little bit more, but yeah, ramping it up to £6.
I was looking at it the same way as Matt, as I was like, well, a car in bloody Asphalt 9 that you don't actually get a physical real one of will run you about the same amount. So I didn't get too upset about it, but yeah, it's just a shame that like the game could have been good, and they just haven't bothered. So yeah, so that's that. Oh, Isaac said his first swear when he was playing it.
was it the C word?
Well, not surprised with you.
Well, this is
This game
might
is
be worth mentioning given recent discussions on the show.
Yeah, that was it. But you know what you sounded like there, Sean? Someone that had just walked into it. God.
Yeah, no, I think I picked a car, and so bear in mind, not even 3 years old, I picked a car and just went, fucking hell, I don't like that one.
Are you joking?
No.
Oh my god, Sean.
I managed to I didn't react, and I just went, what did you say, Isaac? He said, I don't like that one. I was like, okay.
That was the actual words he said.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Sean, you need to. I mean, the swearing thing is like a bit of a joke for the podcast, sure, but.
Oh no, I've always said I'm amazed he hasn't started swearing yet, and I'm so like because we've sworn around him, like, and he just doesn't. He never seemed to take it in, but obviously he now is. So time to knock it on down.
It's part of his dialect now.
Don't worry about that much.
Yeah.
Just make it clear that shouldn't say that word. It's fine. People make such a big deal out of that. Who gives a shit?
I did say the exact thing in front of him 2 days later because the door of the fridge fell off.
Yeah,
which I feel was justified.
So is Isaac like bang into his Hot Wheels then?
Oh yeah, he loves it. It's like you say, it's just whenever we go to the supermarket, it's just like, yeah, £1.50. Whatever. There you go, man. Pick one.
You're
whatever.
but you're 6 months away from buying a Hot Wheels garage.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to him being old enough to like enjoy having a track.
That enjoyment lasts about 12 minutes. I'm telling you. I'm looking now. Right, I'll tell you what I can see now in my front room.
Mm-hmm.
The Hot Wheels Ultimate Garage.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a box of track. I can also see several of those little blue connection things for the track all over the place. And just bits of track everywhere. And Harry doesn't even play it anymore.
Amazing.
Charlie's into it now.
Well, this is the thing with Labo, right? And I know you said this at the time, Dave, but obviously I don't think I was a parent yet. Like, people saying, it's all cardboard, though, it's shit. It's like, mate, if once you realise the amount of plastic you throw away or you try and fob off to charity shops, cardboard, bring it on. At least I don't feel terrible recycling it at the end. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, this Hot Wheels garage thing is ridiculous.
It's
massive.
It's like an 18-wheeler truck that has like the sides open up and you can put toy cars in that. That's pretty good.
We got that one.
That's not a legit Hot Wheels thing. That's just some shitty knockoff.
Who do the really good alternative ones?
I haven't seen any good alternative ones, and I couldn't even tell you what the difference is. You just look at them. It's like, no, that's clearly not Hot Wheels. Like, they're just not. I don't know. I don't know if it's the detail.
There is one place. I think it might just be Tesco's.
Okay.
They do some decent alternative. I don't know, but I mean, who cares? They're £1.50 each anyway. So exactly, I mean, like, it's not like they're breaking the bank.
No.
It's just when it gets to Christmas, and you look at the Hot Wheels Ultimate Garage, and it's £90, and you go, "What the fuck have I just ordered?" And you spend Christmas Eve putting all the stickers on and putting it all together. Horrific. Right, are we done?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get to emails.
Yeah, read the emails. If you want to email us, you can email us at podcast@thecomputergameshow.com. John H says, hello, just watched Dave finding the final agility orb in Crackdown, wondering what games you've always been meaning to go back to on 100%. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, man. I have not got a brain to do that.
No, I either make the decision at the time or never. Can I
rephrase that? I have got a brain to do that. I haven't got the type of brain that does that.
I knew what you meant.
I've not got a brain to do that. I just don't know. I've got no...
Yeah,
I've got no lingering feelings like that about games. Once I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always wanted to go back to Breath of the Wild and do more of that.
Oh, but finding all the fucking...
shrines.
not even the shrines, the bloody plant lads.
Yeah, I know, but would you consider that? Yeah, not the plant dudes, but the shrines. The problem with the shrines is that once you've done the majority of them, you know all that's left are the fucking battles. You know, those little shitty battles.
Yeah. But then by the end of the game, you've got all the Guardian shit, right? So they're actually relatively trivial, I think.
Yeah, oh, totally, but it's knowing that not only are you finding them, you're not going to get something interesting out of the experience of finding them either.
Yeah, true.
So it's just if it's an agility orb, you find it, you collect it, fine. But in these ones, you go in, you go down that lift, you go out, you fight the same enemy that you do in all of them, and then you get the lift back out again. It's like, fucking hell.
Yeah, because at least with all the others, like you say, there's probably a cool puzzle or whatever. But
yeah.
I'm
sorry, I completely destroyed your passion there, James.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that now.
I've quite wanted to go back to Breath of the Wild.
Fuck you! We've saved you the time, it's fine.
I think Spider-Man is one of mine, actually, because I remember I had to sell it at a time because needed the money or wanted the money or whatever, but I was well on my way to doing everything. So I think Spider-Man is definitely one of the ones.
I suspect there's about a million of these on your list, Matt, isn't there?
I mean, there's a fair few, yeah.
Go on, rattle some more off.
I mean, obviously, Super Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
What else comes to mind? I mean, I rarely get close enough. Whereas with Spider-Man, I was like, hang on, I might actually get to platinum this.
Yeah, that helps.
And that so rarely happens. So Spider-Man's there.
I don't think I've got any platinums. I'd be very surprised if I have.
Oh, I don't think I've got any.
Well, the only game over 100% is Outer Wilds, that's it. But there's only like 12 achievements in that game.
The closest thing that I can think of is Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, I'd want to do all of the encounters, and I think I might have done all the encounters, but
that's the point.
Certainly all the side missions and stuff.
Yeah, like I wouldn't need to 100% it, but it would be cool because I know there's some like little story things I've not done.
But
like
then there's some you can't get anyway, because when I finished it, there's like one side story in one of the early chapters that you can't go back to do, so I'll have to start again.
Yeah, some of them are just gone, aren't they?
Yeah, but then I'd started a second playthrough anyway, didn't I? I think I got to chapter 3.
God, sorry, I've just remembered something amazing about Spider-Man that I noticed, and I meant to mention and I forgot.
It's too late.
All the dialogue.
Next email.
All the dialogue. When you're like mid-mission or you just whatever, just cutting about the city and you get a call from Yuri or whatever. Have you noticed that there's... I think there must be 2 different recordings for Peter for every line of dialogue. One if he's on the ground and one if he's swinging.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking amazing.
I also like the fact that or you hear the people talking on the street and they are like referencing things that have happened, major things that have happened in the city, in the game.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But not
it is
that.
cool, like hearing like a breathless version as he's bombing across the rooftops versus him walking down the road.
Yeah.
Same dialogue. Yeah,
I thought that was really smart.
What was the first game that really explored that? It was Infamous, right? The people on the street are talking about everything you've done.
Mm.
That was Infamous. I remember that being like the first thing. Oh my God. They react to everything you're doing. That was a big deal.
Never played it.
What weird series that is. I wonder if we'd ever get a new Infamous. I guess not.
That was another one that's on my list to one day play. But yeah, never got around to it.
Which one would you play though?
I don't know. What's most recent?
Second Son, right? They brought out one after that, but it was just that was like a Lost Legacy thing.
Oh yeah.
I've got Second Son somewhere. I'll send it to you.
I think that was probably in that stack of
Yeah, it
You
was,
almost
yeah, it was.
definitely own
that,
it. Yeah,
that
you almost
Matt
definitely
lent
own
me
it.
that turned out to be yours. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, no,
yeah.
you knew there were Dave's. Don't lie about it.
I didn't, but yeah.
Okay, I will. I'll have a look. I'll see if I can dig it out and I'll send it when
I wonder
I
if
send
that.
you Zelda back.
I mean, I can't imagine it's going to feel amazing these days.
If you could send me that over in Call of
I've got
Duty
no idea.
Ghosts, that'd be great.
I'll include that,
Press square to bark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've no idea. All I know is that I didn't play at launch. I played it shortly after launch, though, to be fair. And I thought it was great. So I don't know if it'll hold up. Hold up, almost definitely not.
I have been recently thinking about buying Breath of the Wild again, and which I'm a bit worried about because I bought it, loved it, absolutely stunning game, and then sold it after I finished it and stuff. But I'm worried about going back to it and it not being as special as it was. But then if I see a video online or even hear the music, I'm like, oh god, that's such an amazing time. But I'm worried about going back and it's not being like it was. But when was the most recent time any of you guys actually went and played it?
I don't own it anymore.
I don't know. I've still got it, but it must have been a couple of years by this
Yeah,
point.
I'm waiting for Harry to until to the point where I know Harry will really appreciate it, and then I'll get it again, for sure. But yeah, that's the one game. We get asked that every so often. What's the one game you could experience for the first time again?
Oh god, yeah.
That is my stock answer.
Yeah.
Jesus, sense of discovery in that game was just unreal.
Yeah.
Good one.
Shall I do the next email?
Yes.
Okay. Maria Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS companions," sorry, CO. She's done CO in capitals. Companions.
Yes, very funny, Maria.
It's very good.
But I hope you're proud of yourself. Very funny.
To be fair, she does a different one every week, and they're always absolute bangers.
Yeah, I've noticed that, Sean.
I'm furious about that, Sean. Thank you.
She's excellent work on the even-handed chat of The Last of Us 2. With technical complaints of the game focusing on the last-gen patrol patterns of guards, I started to think about what makes game enemies impressive. According to your discussion, it involves creating adversaries with more than merely different names. So, if you were approached by a developer interested in using your individual personality traits or abilities for a game, what would an AI based on you play like, and in what genre would it work best? For what it's worth, I think Sean's athletic prowess could shine brightest in a new sequel to Konami's Track and Field. Keep up the wonderful work.
I'm a champion.
Being sarcastic.
Mario, Sonic, and Sean Bell at the Olympic Games. My ability to hit top corners put me in FIFA. There we go. That's what it'd be.
Wait, are you talking about hitting top corner in FIFA or in real life?
Oh God. You've not seen me hit top bins, no? Not seen that?
No.
Ooh, 100% all the time,
Every
apart
day.
from at EGX Expo.
Oh God, yeah.
Where didn't hit one, but no. What would my skill be? Well, it'd be poker based, wouldn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
Right. I'd be a top class poker player. Woo. Do you know what cards I've got? No, because I'm too good at poker.
The sad thing is, mine would probably be regimented routine. If I don't have control of that routine, and I'll kick off. So really, what game? I would probably be one of the enemies that have patrol patterns in games.
Yeah,
So what you're saying, Matt, is
or an
that
NPC
your
in an
actual
RPG,
brain is an unconvincing AI.
Yeah, basically, I would be, and I always think of the guards in Metal Gear Solid, like the first one. I'm like, okay, I'll be in the first Metal Gear Solid, not the first Metal
walking
Gear
around
game
in a
before anyone
circle.
complains.
To be fair,
I'll be just
like
walk around, and I'll have little exclamation marks saying, well, that's weird, but no, I'm going to stick with my routine, sticking with the plan.
I was going to say, yeah, because to be fair, stealth games where the guards spot you and then you hide for 30 seconds. They go, oh, it must have been nothing. Moving on now. That's pretty much me. So that works.
we could both be guards. Okay,
Yeah.
Two of us are guards.
Start our own militia.
See, I'm
Two
thinking
of us
for you-
are the last gen patrol patterns of guards. Okay, good.
For you, Matt, I'm seeing you less like that and more of a NPC in Shenmue 1, where
God, yeah, of
every
course.
day at the same time you see them going to the same place and doing the same thing. That's the sort of regimen. Like, I don't see you walking around in a circle forever, but I could see you going to the same bar and, saying the same thing, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The same sort of enthusiastic dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm okay.
But you don't see that person off camera. You don't want to be there when the laughter stops. You don't want to be there when
That's
the
dark as fuck.
NPC
Cheers,
routine
Matt.
doesn't happen in the same bar every day.
Jesus.
What's
Farley?
James's?
I have no idea. I mean, what? I mean, my personality is not suited at all to any kind of video game character. I don't know. Unless you got any idea, because I don't know.
Market stall
See, I think-
from an
because obviously-
RPG.
Go on, sorry.
Our market stall from an RPG. You know, the one that's grumpy, usually sells armour.
Well,
Okay.
James
I'll
is
be an armourer.
James
There you
is
go.
like a knowledgeable
You could be an
academic,
armour.
right? So he could be like a Q figure to James Bond. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, I was
Because
thinking more
the
like
the gadgets he
grumpy
gives out would
sidekick.
be fucked up.
What's he's
Well, that's another fine mess you got us into.
He's Dr. Watson to Sherlock Holmes.
Dr. Watson to Sherlock Holmes.
Of course.
Thanks,
Or
Sean.
just walking around and just going, yeah, you're right.
Well, no, it's
yeah.
a compliment because the whole point is that Holmes is fucking useless without Watson. And
Yeah,
that's you
that's
and
fine.
Dave. That's you and Dave.
No, that is not me and Dave. Because could you imagine Sherlock and Watson, where Sherlock's going, I think I've worked this out. No, you haven't. You're never going to solve it. Don't get excited. What are you getting excited for? There's nothing to be excited about. I've solved this murder. Probably haven't. It was just...
It's never
Sherlock
going
had
to happen.
sacked
It's
What? Hold on. I know nothing about Sherlock and Watson. Does Sherlock hire Watson? Or do they both
no, they
work
just,
for the same
they
company?
just hang about together. don't
No,
they?
I think he
No,
does
no,
hire
no,
him, doesn't he? As an
Yeah, I
assistant.
think
He's
so,
doing a job. Sherlock Holmes is employed to do a job, right?
He's a private investigator.
Sherlock Holmes is, yeah. Yeah.
Right. So who does Sherlock Holmes work for?
Just individual
Himself.
clients, isn't it?
Lidl.
Yeah.
Right. So right. And
He's
then
a contractor, basically.
Yeah.
he's a contractor,
freelancer.
and then Watson's a subby.
Well, what? Sorry, you cut out then.
Is Watson a subby?
What?
A what?
A
does that mean?
subcontractor.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
So
Yeah.
right. So Watson works for Sherlock.
Yeah.
Sherlock takes on the clients.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I just want to know the financial situation of that partnership. So if me and James are... Well, what I'm getting at is that if me and James are Sherlock Holmes and Watson, can I reduce his Patreon cut? That's where I'm going with this? Because he works for me now.
I think
Next
James
question.
would be, you know, the little guy who on the ship in Fallen Order.
The pilot.
Yeah, I think James would be good in that role. He'd like very like,
he's
oh,
way
I've got a
too
secret.
positive.
What? And he's really affable, but there's a secret. There's a bit of darkness in him
Yeah,
that
but
we
maybe
never
he'd
really
be a
get
bit
to
more
the
grumpy.
bottom of.
Yeah,
Sounds like James.
gambling problems are lost. You know, huge ships. I can't remember what his issue was.
Have we done Sean?
Well, I suppose, I mean, Maria did, but obviously, feel free to have your own stab at it, or don't. I mean, we can just move on.
No, we'll have a think.
Not much to go on, is there?
Well, this is it. It's, you know, pick one defining aspect of my personality. There's none.
Just Sean, isn't
Every
it?
time you try and pick something out, it's like I resist being noticeable in any way.
What's the sweariest game?
No, you know the game. You know the games where you can go up to like random civilians and stuff, and then some of them have like really long dialogue trees, and you can chat to them for a while, and some of them just say one sentence.
Mhm.
Like the majority of them just say one sentence. Sean's one of those guys.
Well, the one sentence.
Can't
goes,
talk now. I'm busy. And off they walk. That's Sean.
Get out of my way.
or you say loads of stuff, and they go, "Yeah, haha."
Yeah, that's Sean.
That's me. That's it for emails.
Cool. Let's get on to
Tweets.
tweets. It's at TCGS on Twitter. We're going to start with a heavy one. Mike Suski. Do you think we have any obligation to take the human toll of creating games like Last of Us Part 2 into account when critiquing them? The game obviously looks stunning, but I'd honestly prefer that AAA games looked less detailed if it meant the industry moved away from crunch culture.
Tough, isn't it? I mean, it's something we certainly talked about in the past, like how much responsibility do we have on crunch? How much responsibility do we have on the working environments that people work on? And it's nice to feel that we have the power to sort of stand up and say no, or, you know, go on about the moral issues surrounding this. But at the end of the day, we're still buying the games, and we're still buying phones that are made in horrendous conditions, and we're still wearing clothes that are made in horrendous conditions.
Exactly,
you know? It's not something we like to think about, and maybe we should think about it more. But
I think we do have an obligation to take it into consideration. I mean, I'm not sure in terms of critiquing like how good the game is or whatever, but certainly it's something that should be considered.
This is it. It's like I don't expect.
What's the point in considering it if you're going to go? Yeah, I consider that. I'll buy that day one at full price.
Yeah, but in terms of critiquing, are we saying, well, it's an amazing game, but it's probably made of crunch, so 7 out of 10, not 8.
In terms
or 9.
of in terms of critiquing the game, it's weird. I don't think you're critiquing the game that's in front of you. You're not critiquing how it was made. Because you would have to go into every single
like no one's going to
game
know that,
and fully understand how that was created.
Because I thought about this in the opposite sense. So Broken Age, the Double Fine game, you know, that was famously kickstarted to the tune of about 3.5 million. And, you know, it sort of went off the rails a little bit because they only wanted like 150k to make a little pixel art point and click adventure. They raised 3.5 million and they went, right, we need to make a game that looks like it cost 3.5 million to make. Ended up going over budget and the finished game, there's a lot to love about it, but it's kind of a mixed bag. However, I loved it because I watched the incredibly lengthy documentary about how it got made. And I learned a lot about the people that made it and the things they went through to make the game and to make it happen. But
on the flip side, though, Sean, we've had situations where we've slagged off a game and we've had messages, "Oh, come on, it was made by one person."
Yeah.
And we've said, well, it's not our concern.
Yeah.
That is not our concern. You're asking for £20 for this game and it's not very good. I'm not going to give it a pass because it was made by one person. Well, this is it doesn't make a difference to the end user.
Yeah, and I'm like...
We had that recently, didn't we, that game that you and I played, Sean? You know, we wanted to like it because of the background of the studio that had made it.
Tonight We Riot, but unavoidably it just wasn't that good.
It's...
this is it, and like with the Broken Age thing, I was like, I definitely like this more because of the documentary, and is that... like cheating? Is that like an unfair advantage? Or should I always just be like, yeah, do you know what? Every game I've not been 100% enthusiastic about was probably still made by a team of talented, hardworking, probably quite nice people. And should I give everything a bit? Like, you know, like Phil Spencer's whole thing is just like every game that ever got made is a fucking miracle. Like this, like it's hard to make games. And I do appreciate that approach, but equally, like Dave says, or like James said, you can't. If you are critiquing stuff, you also owe it to those people who made it to critique it effectively, because they would rather know if there are problems, and they would rather. Would hope
and there's no way you can take other things into account, like you just said, like whether it's I was saying made by one person or I was made under crunch and everyone worked 1,000 hours. It's like once you start doing that, it's like, well, we're giving this because of that, because of this, because of that. It's no way of really fully knowing what the inside story was unless you're there in development from day one. You never know what really happened. So all you can really do in critiquing games is just critique the game in front of you, because there's so many other factors that you'll never be able to know about, which might sway you one way or the other.
I think it's more of an obligation to think, should you buy this or not, rather than what's the critique.
That's true, yeah. When we're talking about critique, are we talking about like a critical review of something, or are we talking about a buyer's guide? And obviously games reviews have always sort of existed in a sort of space between those two things. So it's like, so those are two different questions, like, is this good and should you buy it? Not necessarily the same thing.
But also wanting the industry to be better is not something you want to hide. You know, we all love gaming, and we all want the people that are making our games not to be exploited. So, you know.
But then
wanting
equally,
that.
there was I saw a tweet from one of the devs. I forget what she did. She might have been involved in. I think it was like one of the writers or something. Basically, she was like, "Everyone's telling me that they hope my new game's shit, and they think they're supporting me." And like, and like, yeah. So
yeah, but then you could understand why people want a.
Yeah.
You know, it's how else are you going to protest other than to boycott a game that's, you know, if we were genuinely worried about all this stuff to the point where we think it is an issue and we don't want to support this behaviour anymore, the only way to affect that is a mass boycott.
That's the thing, though. There's a difference between a boycott and then writing a review that says this is rubbish because I don't agree with what's going on inside the studio or whatever.
Yeah.
There
is. Yeah, it's a tough question. We definitely haven't got the answer.
This next question is sort of related, and there's been a lot of discourse about this in the week from David Merritt at Snaky David on Twitter. Are games too long, and why is the answer yes?
So
obviously this has definitely come about more because of Last of Us 2, and also Sean Layden did. There's an interview with him, or maybe there's like a piece which referred to an interview with him saying basically that the current AAA model is just not sustainable.
They say that every generation.
Like, game budgets have gone up like massively, but game prices haven't changed, and there's just so much to sort of squeeze in to to games as they are these days, and it's just so something is going to have to change.
Well, yeah, because
I'm not sure about this because they say this at the start of every single generation, and the thing about this is that for these massive companies that are like making as they call AAA games or whatever, if they weren't making them any money, if it was a complete loss-making exercise, they wouldn't make the games.
Yeah,
at all. They wouldn't do it. And you see, the thing is a lot of people often jump on this idea of I want games to be shorter, and a lot of gaming journalists often seem to jump on this whole thing about I want shorter games. But is that also because they want to get through things because they've got other things they've got to move on to?
Yeah.
Some people really like massive long experiences. They want that, and they're not going to. They don't want really short things. It's what I'm trying to say is different games, different needs.
So clearly it works for enough people. Personally, I prefer shorter games. I don't really buy also the idea that shorter AAA games would necessarily be that much cheaper to make. Like, a lot of people were sort of drawing comparisons with, like Lost Legacy and stuff, and going, well, look, that was shorter and everyone really loved it, and it was more condensed and it was cheaper. It's like, yeah, but that's built on tech that was developed for Uncharted 4, which was a longer, more expensive game. So I don't necessarily know if, could they have just made Lost Legacy in the time they did if they hadn't already made Uncharted 4? Do you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of those smaller, condensed AAA experiences are built off the back of something else that was much bigger and took, and took a lot more time.
Well, that's why sequels are way more popular than a new IP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But generally you'd say longer game equals more content have to be created for it. I mean, that's a interesting sort of example because that is built off what we've got already. But generally, shorter game, less content needed to be created for it. You'd think that would be cheaper, and therefore,
I'm just
if the game
wondering.
can justify the longer playing time, then all good. But if you're playing a game that's dragging,
I'm just wondering if
they are too long.
Yeah, so I suppose the better question is, so could they have made Uncharted 4 as short as Lost Legacy was in the same time? Do you know what I mean?
Don't know.
I
don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that, when you look at obviously the longer a game is, probably the more it costs to make. But is that cost incredibly front-loaded with getting all the tech and the tools and everything together? Yeah, and then the amount of content you build after that, it's relatively low. I mean, I might be talking complete shit. I just think it's interesting.
Editing must be such a fucking pain in the arse as well. Financially, it must be terrible to pile money into developing a whole, 2-hour game experience, part of the experience, and chop it out. But then you've got all the stuff like collectibles and maybe there's weapon upgrades in there that then you suddenly have to put somewhere else in the game. And I bet editing, if they come across a section of a game late on and just go, this bit really isn't working and doesn't feel integral to the plot, I bet chopping it out is just a major pain.
Yeah, and like it's never anyone's fault when that happens. But as you say, when you've put the work in, it's got to feel shit.
There's some interesting quotes in this piece from Layden saying the single most important reason why AAA models are unsustainable is not escalating costs or team sizes. It's basically about the price point. It says no matter how big the games get, the basic price has always stayed the same, and the audience is very sensitive to the idea of it ever being higher. He said it's been $60 since I started in this business, but the cost of games have gone up 10 times. If you don't have the elasticity on the price point, but you have a huge volatility on the cost line, the model becomes more difficult, and I think this generation is going to see those two imperatives collide.
Oh,
I mean, if things are going up 10 times, but
that's
games
Sony saying expect to play a lot more, not only for the console next gen. But at the same time, Game Pass is pretty cheap. So how's that sustainable? Ask me that, Matt.
I would say generally you'd be hard pressed to find games less than 40 quid this generation. Whereas like before, you could find them for like 35, and I think that's only going to go up another 5 or so next gen. If you look at brand new games, like they'll put up, unless you go online or go in certain places. If you go to like Game, they'd be like 50, 55 quid for a brand new game on day one.
Yeah, $59.99, isn't it? Like Nintendo stuff's $59.99.
I was going to say, I love how Nintendo have sort of ridden that wave, even though their games definitely don't cost half as much to make.
Yeah,
but yeah,
wow.
Yeah, they whack them up for 60 quid like straight away. But there tends to be cheaper versions. I think I got like Animal Crossing for like 35 quid.
Yeah,
it's usually
I got that on
deals.
Yeah, I mean that was a couple of quid more for physical, but that's still
right.
under 40, just under 40 on CD on Simply or CD keys or something. Okay, next question, Kurt Lewin. Whilst I don't think this will happen, what do you think about the possibility of both PS5 versions being the same price, but the digital one has a larger hard drive?
Impossible.
That's stupid. No chance.
I mean, the whole point of that other one is that it will be cheaper. So there's and related says Adam Lewis at AdamCL95. How much of a difference would it be if the Series X is available on All Access on the day of its release?
All Access is the monthly thing.
Yeah,
I think that'd be huge.
Because that'd be the first time a console's been that on day one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think it'd be less of a big thing if that rumoured £200 price point.
True. Yeah, it depends on the price. Yeah, if it's like 600
but if
quid,
you want the all
then
bells and whistles one, they're like, well, it's say $499, $450, whatever. Or you can just pay like 30 quid.
I mean, they've got nothing to lose, have they? They might as well, mightn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they've already got a system in place already. It had it on 360, and then they eventually brought it in properly now for the One X and One S. So yeah, it'll be fascinating if that's and also how if they promote that, if that's like on the advert saying take home today for just $29.99 a month. I mean, we haven't really seen that, have we, on our adverts? And well, no consoles had that day one. And if you have like on one hand potentially a PS5 for like say 350, 500, whatever the two models are, and also Xbox saying you can get this, but also you can get it today for 30 quid.
Yeah,
that'd be
huge.
Pretty crazy. Okay, Connor at the Baldy Wookie on Twitter. After this week's unboxing video by James, would he consider ordering video game related gadgets off of Wish for review? I've seen some great knockoff consoles and game related tat on there. Great video, by the way.
I'd love that.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, I know James wouldn't love doing it, but I love watching
Wish is that it will take 4 months to get here, but you should do it.
I'd be happy to do that. I love getting tat like that and then just looking at it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, like tat, knockoff consoles, knockoff this and that.
Yeah.
That'd be bloody great.
Get it done.
Alex at Alex79UK is on try Ninjala on Switch yet. Free to play multiplayer game launched last week. Looks very Nintendo. Splatoon/ARMS visual style. Seems like it might be okay, but appears very basic at the moment. And the high element of randomness to battles worth a look though. I've heard lots of people talk about Ninjala, but I don't quite know why.
Well, I suggested it for the upcoming TCGS versus Kane and Rince thing, and James was not keen.
No, because it's free to play, which means there's something wrong with it.
Not necessarily. It's so right. I've literally done the tutorials, but yeah, I've been hearing really good things about it, so I'm intrigued. Don't
you play Destiny?
It is very
James?
Splatoon though.
That's not free to play. I paid for that.
Pretty sure it is free to play.
Yeah, it's
now.
free to play now, yeah.
It looks
Gotcha.
Disgusting.
good. I'll have a go and talk about it next week.
Well, but what sort of game is it? Sorry, is it a...
So it's like I think it's team-based multiplayer, and it's weird. It's kind of like melee combat, but also you have and you can dash around a lot of because you're all like ninjas.
The artwork makes it look way like Splatoon.
It's very Splatoon.
Is Ninjala a franchise in its own right, but it's just come to games, or is it a brand new thing?
I hadn't heard of it previously, but I don't know.
It's Splatoon without the guns and microtransactions. There you go.
Exactly.
Fucking
pretty
hell.
Well, we know what James
Right.
thinks
Cheers,
about
Watson.
the game.
Probably killed him with a baseball bat. There you go.
Andy Godwin, that big cop man. What game deserved a sequel but never got one? And also still waiting for an answer on who would be the last man standing in a Mexican standoff. Who drops who?
Okay, right. So first answer about Bulletstorm, isn't it?
Yep.
I can't believe we didn't get one. They had that remastered, didn't it, a few years ago, and maybe that was to gauge...
I played it on the PlayStation 4 system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. But I mean, it wasn't a remaster.
What are people conflating?
It didn't feel like a remaster. It felt like a... No, it did feel like a remaster. It didn't feel like a remake, which is good because it never said it was a remake. It didn't even feel like a remaster. It felt like a port more than anything else.
Oh, that's right. So so People Can Fly are working on Outriders, that new Square Enix one that we've seen nothing of for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. Decent.
But yeah, no, Bulletstorm is the answer to that. Yep. Weird that didn't get a sequel.
Bulletstorm, that had loads of bad language and stuff in it, right?
It did.
Yeah, it had some naughty language in it.
It sounded normal to me.
That felt like a key part of it. Would that even work these days, or what?
Naughty language?
Would, yeah. It was trying to be all sort of like self-referential and
Oh, right, so it was quite knowing, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Duke Nukem.
There was definitely one character who was racist, but he was definitely a baddie, and it was definitely played. I mean, it was still unpleasant, but it was. I think it made sense in context. I don't think anyone kicked up a fuss about it.
Yeah, well, would that work these days? I don't know.
Well, no,
Probably
they'd just change it, wouldn't they? They wouldn't have to have the same.
Yeah, you could cut the lines
attitudes
easily,
over, would they? I mean, I don't look at that and think about the dialogue.
No,
the dialogue was part of it, but it's more about the combat system.
Yeah.
So good.
But no, I think as far as I can remember, I'm happy to be corrected. In context, I don't think anyone found it offensive, but maybe I'm wrong.
Mexican standoff then.
Mexican standoff. I mean, how does...
Sean would be the first one dead.
Why?
Because you wouldn't have the balls to pull the trigger on anyone else.
Yeah, but Matt can't aim, so...
I can.
So Matt would be the second one dead.
Aim?
Matt, we've seen you play computer games.
Wait, first, who's pointing the gun at who?
In combat.
It's be alright in real life, I bet.
I'm really good in real life, Sean.
Who's pointing the gun at who? I mean, if it was knives, Matt would have a knife pointed towards my back. But guns, I'm not so sure.
I'd love to fire a real gun.
A Mexican standoff has to be guns, right?
Yeah.
I've got no interest in doing that.
I just want to see what it feels like. I mean,
I've done it before.
Feels
it's all right.
bad. Really hurts, apparently.
Well,
I've told you that I humanise things all the time, to a ridiculous level.
It's just having basic empathy, Dave. It's not.
I know, I don't think.
Oh, here comes Mr. Gun.
I'm not thinking it's hard to explain.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
With everyone I think about, everyone I see ever, I think about what they do for lunch. It's things like that. It's just no need for it.
Right, okay.
I'm at a till or whatever. I just think when you go for lunch, have you got a tinfoil sandwich upstairs that you go and you just sit on your own in the staff room or what? It's that sort of stuff, right? I often overly think
with famous celebrities and stuff. I sometimes imagine them just waking up in the morning and just being
that all the time,
just being
all the time.
Can we get back to the Mexican standoff, please?
The Queen.
How is this related to guns? Dave?
The Queen. I see the Queen giving the address about the coronavirus or whatever, and then I think that afterwards she goes, just going for a shit. And then she's sitting there, she gets her iPhone out or whatever. And she's playing
on the bog with her phone.
Golf on Mars. Yeah, because who doesn't get their iPhone out of
does the Queen just wake up some mornings and just be like, fuck this?
Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably every morning.
It's just weird.
Yeah, but Dave, how is this related to the
Prince
question?
Andrew in the bed, and then
Can we not mention
one of
Prince
them's
Andrew in this
farting at
podcast?
one point, right? One
I'm
of
not
them's
mentioning
coughing.
Prince Andrew in this podcast. Let's move
Okay,
on.
all right, sure. What was the question?
How's this related to the question, Dave?
It's not, but it's fun, isn't it?
I said I wanted to fire a gun, and you went off on some tirade about the
All
Queen
right,
having a
okay, yeah,
shit.
right. So who's pointing at who? Who's pointing their gun at who?
No, Dave, I want to know what the link was.
What was the link?
I said I wanted to fire a gun, and you're like, well, I humanise people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you never explained
And?
that, Dave.
Oh, no, you said you want to fire a gun. So all I'd be thinking about while holding that gun is that it was designed to kill people and it would make me feel sick.
Yep.
I just want to...
That's
I
the
just wanna,
idea
like-
of holding that in
I
my
just wanna see
hand.
what
Yeah,
it
because
feels like.
it's all well and good being like, well, I'm not going to kill anyone with it. It's like, yeah, but it was still built to do that.
You can see the evolution of it while looking at the thing, where they were thinking, what kills people? Bits of metal flying through them. How do we do that in the easiest, most convenient, lethal way possible? And that is the evolution of that idea.
Yeah.
Just standing, like sitting there in front of you. I don't want to
Dave,
pick it up and
what
shoot
do you
it.
think about the Olympics and specifically the javelin? Because
I just think they're throwing a javelin.
but that kind of came from men throwing spears.
No, that
at
does
dinosaurs,
actually.
didn't it?
Yeah, but that does still weird me out because I heard a story once about a school. I don't even know if it's true. It might have been a rumor.
Okay,
That on sports day they had a javelin and the guy went to throw it,
yeah.
but he put his arm too far back, and as he moved it forward, it went through his own neck.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
that's the
instantly
classic
what I
of
think about
apocryphal
the javelin.
tale.
I was going to
You
say,
Almost definitely, but it just made me feel that makes me feel weird. And then who throws a hammer? I mean,
Thor?
spinning around with it.
I'll tell you what, that'd be useful during the Mexican standoff.
it would.
It would,
Just
you'd
start
knock us all
flailing
out.
around.
Yeah. Just flailing.
James, who,
Yeah.
who are you pointing your gun at?
Definitely you.
Right, so I'm covered. Matt, who are you pointing your gun at?
Well, let's just do Reservoir Dog style and still. Well, okay, I'll point at James.
Right, well that's what we're talking about.
No,
then I'll
because that's
point-
different. The Mexican standoff is like two of you, and then you
Wait,
go up
how are
3,
we
2, 1,
going to
bang.
do this? Can we? You can't point at. Yeah, so then Sean's got to point at you, and I've got to point at Sean.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but this is not a Mexican standoff.
So Sean's dead
Why am I dead?
because. But
You just
I
are,
just
Sean.
told you wouldn't.
I haven't
You
got the
wouldn't be
nerve.
quick enough. Yeah, you'd be dead.
Okay.
Matt seems pretty trigger happy.
Well, I just
think
want to
he
give
would
it a
get
go. Depends. If I've been to a shooting range before that, maybe not.
Okay, but I think James. I think you'd kill James before James kills me, right?
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
kill
I
everyone.
have been to a shooting range, so I'd
got
be quite happy
experience.
to pull the trigger.
Yeah, but were you shit?
No.
Oh, I bet you were
No,
shit.
actually, they're like, no professionals, please.
Absolutely. Yes.
Is this just heading to Dave basically saying, I would kill Sean and Matt would kill James, I'm the best, and I kill 2 people, and I'm the only one that survives?
Oh, but if Matt shoots at Sean, as you say, it'd be shit at aiming, so I'd probably miss.
Yeah.
No, not if I'm not going to miss.
So that's me dead. I shoot Sean, James shoots me, Matt misses,
Not gonna
James
miss.
shoots
I win.
Matt.
Okay.
James wins, yeah. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
What a lovely
Wow.
conversation.
I feel really bad about
Well, at least
it.
we know
I really
now.
would.
All our podcasting experience,
Ooh.
knowledge, and it's left to James
Yeah.
to carry on the legacy.
Yep.
God, finally, the
Who
main one.
will probably pack it in after a week anyway.
Yeah.
James, if we all
Can't be
die,
bothered.
please bring. Just carry on. Just please.
Yeah,
don't
but
let
it'd do
Alexi
just
die.
enough to keep the Patreon going. That's what it'd do. A 10-minute episode every month. Here's the news.
James would shoot us all and then realise it's like the 3rd of the month and that we've already had the payout, and he'd be like, I've done this 3 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Not a lot.
Also, I haven't got the passwords.
Login.
And, no one's given me codes because I never sent any coverage. But I should have kept Matt alive.
It's fine because I'll do the news and then I'll do the what you've been playing bit. It'll be fine.
And that's it, no questions.
Yeah, done.
Your Honour.
Go
That's
then.
it for tweets. Is that TCGS on Twitter?
I'm sure there's other little URLs and addresses you want to talk about, isn't there, Matt? Why don't you do that in this segment now?
Yeah, James, are you having a couple of weeks off streaming until Deadly Premonition 2?
Yes, yeah, that's my plan.
Cool.
In fact,
So-
I've got a question about that, which
you
you
want to
understood.
do
I have to do it.
Yes
or no.
What's the question?
Yeah, so
then?
I'll not this week, but yeah, there's Deadly Premonition 2 is coming really soon, so I'm going to play that.
Sweet. I'm doing HITMAN on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Tuesday, Sean? Question mark?
So I think I am just going to start doing Bell's. I was going to say Bell's Kitchen again. Played by the Bell again. However, I might take the Friday slot if James doesn't want it this week.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
Oh, you're going to lose it. You're going to want that back, James.
No,
Well,
I mean obviously you can
giving
make
up
it
your
back
slot
as soon as it comes out.
Well, yeah, Sean might make himself comfortable.
Maybe.
Cool.
And,
okay, in which case, yeah, Friday. So this Friday, so you
got
wouldn't have
2 weeks,
streamed
Sean.
yesterday as we're hearing this. You got to stream Friday, Sean, yeah?
yeah,
Brilliant.
Let's commit to
Season premiere. Play by the Bell's back this Friday at 9 o'clock on Twitch.
I don't know what I'm going to play like.
TCGS go, and I'm there Sunday as well. If you got Amazon Prime,
We've all got to play like. Slip
I'll
that in. go
figure
on.
it out. It's fine.
if you got
You've
Amazon
got
Prime,
two.
you got
You've
Twitch
got
Prime.
2 weeks, Sean.
You quite finished?
We're having fun, Matt. We don't
Are
need
we?
to hear
Is
that
this
if
fun?
we've got
Is this
if we've
fun for
got
you?
Amazon Prime that we've also got Twitch Prime. We don't need to
Dave,
hear that bit. We're having
Are
fun.
you saying you don't? Are you saying you're happy to not having a cut on the Twitch money? Is that what you're saying now?
No, I want to cut the
Well,
Twitch
shut up
money,
then.
but it's not. That's not going to get us any more than we've already got by you saying the same thing every fucking week, is it?
It will do. Do you know how? No, do you know? That's how things work. You tell people, and actually, I have got Amazon Prime. I will check out a stream.
Okay, well let's.
Do you think?
let's
Do you think
go
we
then.
should have told them once on episode 1, and that's it? Just, I'm sure they'll remember.
I mean, at least
No.
like break it up every few weeks.
Well,
go on.
why? Remind every week, and every week. You know, I will do it because of that stupid thing Matt says.
It's 11:45. Can we just do it?
I would have happily done it, but you guys got in the way. If you've got Amazon Prime, every month with that, you get a free monthly sub if you connect your accounts to Twitch. Please do that. It doesn't cost you any money apart from the thing you've already paid for Amazon Prime. And please go over to our account, give us your free sub. And if you do it when we're streaming, we'll give you a lovely little shout out. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it really, really means a lot to us, and we can buy, things with that. One patreon.com/TCGS. There's our bonus monthly podcast for $5 and above. You've got to hear it. And then we do a talk over if you want to hear us talk over the PlayStation 4 announcement that wasn't the unveiling video, was the announcement that also ended with Destiny that wasn't the correct video. TCGS code for everything else.
Thank you very much. We will catch you next week for some more gaming chit chat. Thanks for living it. We'll catch you next week. Say goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.